Mm. Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, variants thereupon, robots, aliens, aqua people, what have you. How art thou this fine Sunday evening as we approach the end of yet another year, the 2019 year, that is. I am your host, Weebo Jones, and today we are doing cocktail hour. We'll see how long it takes for Polly to show up this time. Your guess is as good as mine. He's probably off brewing his coffee by hand, hand stoking the fire with the little blowy thing. I don't know what the technical term is for it, but the blowy thing sounds scientific enough. But he's probably stoking the fire with the blowy thing in order to heat up the coffee water to a nice boil for it to brew black coffee, at an adequate temperature, and so that it can steep long enough for him to brew coffee or have the coffee grounds release all of the caffeine in them, and then is it juice or no? Just have it steep and then pour it so he can pour his eggnog in his he's a whiskey man, isn't he? Yes. Whiskey? Bourbon. He's working on that. And then he's probably got to press his suit a little bit as well before he shows up. So we'll give him a minute. But in the meantime, everyone, welcome to the show. Welcome. You will find linked in the description, there is a link to the Discord, which you can join at your leisure if you so choose. It's where we do a whole bunch of fun discussion stuff. It's how you get into contact with me, maybe, if you want to, a little bit more so. It's easier to do than on the Twitter sphere. I don't respond to message requests as often over there, although I probably will usually on Discord more often than not. The other thing that we do over there is sometimes we do game nights, although we haven't done them for the last couple of weeks due to the fact that finals is a bitch. But I digress. Can you guys hear me all right? Just curious. I did my portable setup so that it wouldn't be a big hassle to move my entire PC setup all the way from where it is that I go to school to where it is that I live when I'm not at school. So it's, it's always precarious. First couple of times you use it until you actually get it in sync. And given that this is a new computer and I haven't streamed on it nearly as often as I did the other computer when I had it, it's a little bit precarious, but hopefully all is well. Did you bring the kitty home? Asked Daniel Fulman. I did not, and reason being is because I left before everyone else was due to leave, because I was done. So there's no reason to stay at school when it is that you're done with finals, unless you're carpooling with somebody and you have a blood debt to them or something. I don't know. But I did not bring the cat home. That is also due to the fact that I'm pretty sure that they were still there. So I'm not going to just catnap a cat, unless absolutely necessary and they're abusing it. In which case, then yes, I will kidnap the cat. But they did not. And guess what? Our Polly is here. Hi, Polly.
Hello.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I think the closest person to predicting exactly when you would show up was Lion. He said 2 minutes and 19 seconds in his prediction, which is I think we're going to get, because everyone else was like 15, 10, or whatever. But that was pretty close.
And
Surprise.
What's it been?
Well, it's been 4 minutes.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Well, according to my computer, it's 8:01. But all right, should probably double check
What's
that.
What's wrong with your computer?
This is what it says in the bottom right-hand corner here. But whatever. For the last 2 minutes, I've been trying to figure out why my mic hasn't been working. I've been not backstage, but waiting to hit enter studio because StreamYard will give you the ability to check your sound level. I'm like, for the past 2 minutes, I've been hello, checking settings and plugging and unplugging my mic and so forth. But anyway, I'm here now. Merry Christmas.
Well, everyone, if you would like to donate to help Polly aid his potato in getting some upgrades, you can definitely do that. The other things that are linked in the description are both his and my Streamlabs. So if you would like to get Polly a Christmas present, that would be optimal. Did I do that right? Did I shill?
That was Shiltastic.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm not the best at it, but I work. I try.
Well, you look very lovely. It's all very Christmassy and golden around you. And you got the wonderful hat and everything, and the hair pulled jauntily to one side. Well done.
Well, I had it nice and curly because I had it in braids all yesterday because I didn't want to deal with it. I don't know if you know this, Polly, but during the winter months, hair gets super frizzy for some girls, and it's bad. It's very bad. Yeah, we shed, it gets staticky, breaks a lot easier, and not just because everything freezes and it's just going to go if it's outside and wet, although that is certainly a possibility. It's happened before to my cousin. Her brother took a piece of her hair while it was still wet and he just went in. So it is something that can happen.
Nice.
But I suffer from the frizz, and it's bad. Even though I have all of this hair product that is supposed to help me combat that, it doesn't. But yeah, this definitely doesn't help, but I'm not going outside at the moment, so it's not a big deal. I do need a haircut, though. So you're going to see me, the next time you see me, I'll probably have shorter hair.
Really?
Not too short, but it'll be a couple inches. But I have long hair anyway, so you barely will notice.
All right.
Yes, due to probably low humidity, that's why. Although I'm not 100% sure. I just know that it does. And it's not singularly a curly bitch-haired issue. It's if you have hair, it's probably likely that it's going to get super staticky during the winter months.
The tribulations, huh?
Woe is me. Woe is me. And that's not the only problem I have during the winter months. My lips also get super chapped, which is why they're so dark. It's because they're devoid of moisture.
Yeah, well, okay. Because it is winter, it's dry as hell here, and it's usually humid as hell here. So I got this constant dry throat, and it's bugging me, man. Yeah.
I wasn't gonna cut it so dramatically. I've never had a super dramatic haircut, except for when I went from butt length hair to shoulder length hair in 6th grade. But yeah, I don't do dramatic hair alterations. I'm pretty standard. I know what I like. I know what I like on me. I know what I can do with my hair at this length. It just varies between shoulder blade length and mid back length. That's about it. It's fine. All right, no worries.
Don't you ever do the straight up ponytail thing?
I totally just shaved the side of my head.
No. I said ponytail thing. You got to wait for me to finish talking.
Oh, sorry. Ponytail thing? What is that?
It's where you take your hair into a large bundle and then use like a scrunchie of some sort to a ponytail. You've heard of a ponytail. Come on.
Yeah. Yes, but what does that have to do with anything haircut wise?
But well, it just, enables your hair, despite possible frizziness or length problems, to be up and out and sort of non in your way.
When hair gets to a certain length, ponytailing it is not always going to cut it. Sometimes you have to put it in a bun to just keep it next to your head, because once it gets to a certain length, okay, Polly, you can use it like a whip, but it's also going to whip you, but it's also going to get everywhere. Because there's just so much of it. It's just going to go everywhere. And there's the shedding problem, too, which is just a nightmare. If you've ever lived with a woman, you will know what I'm talking about. You just find hairs, like really long-ass hairs, everywhere. And I mean everywhere.
I've never heard of the shedding problem. I mean, I have lived with women, and there's hairs everywhere, but not in wintertime more than other times. So that's weird.
Maybe it's just because I wait until the winter to get a haircut. Right. Maybe. I don't know. The shedding problem comes about really noticeably when it is that I am due my next haircut. And that's usually because you're constantly ripping out hair. So you're brushing it. And so the shedding is exacerbated by the fact that you're forever running your hands through it and pulling hair out of your scalp. And it's just a nightmare.
Exacerbated?
No, the problem is exacerbated.
There's no T in that word.
There's no T in that word?
No.
Exacerbated?
Well, there is towards
Baited?
Exacerbated.
Oh my God.
Just love, I don't even like correcting people. I just like correcting you. I don't know.
Yeah, well, fuck you.
I don't know. That's my ball busting. It's just I have fun with it for some reason. I don't know why that is. Okay, hold on here. There we go.
Tomato, Polly. Golden Age Radio says. Spelled it with an E.
Tomato. Yeah, no, you're not wrong. As long as oh, Badger Man's here. Hey, what's up?
What's up, Badger?
I had a question for the German. What was it? It was something. Well, I mean, there was the German Christmas pickle, but we already talked about that. What was the other thing? It was something German related.
Is that going to be a new meme now?
The German Christmas pickle? How could it not be?
Everything that preceded the German Christmas pickle in this conversation, the exacerbated conversation. I'm looking at the chat now and I'm just oof.
No, it wasn't. No, Badger. It wasn't the Christmas pickle. It was something else Germanic. I can't. Fuck it. If I remember, I'll bring it up.
Eggnog Weebo meme. We don't have any eggnog in the household, and it's actually kind of distressing. Can you believe that, Polly? I come home after 2 weeks of being away from Thanksgiving to now, and we do not have eggnog in the house. They knew I was coming home. They knew. They did not.
Do you have the fixins?
No, I have to go get those tomorrow.
Well,
I got chores to do anyway. I got to set up all the Christmas decorations. We've actually had the Christmas tree up since Thanksgiving, but we got to set up the Christmas decorations, which are there are a plethora of boxes in the laundry room sitting there currently right now. They're all taller than me. All of the piles of boxes. They're about 8 stacks, and they're all taller than me, Polly. All of them. They're all chock full of stuffed Santas, the little Christmas glass. I don't know how you would say it, but they're like the Christmas villages that you have.
Yeah.
With the little lights that light up, and they're completely useless, but they're aesthetically pleasing. My dad has a huge collection of them. And I even received a few for Christmas a few years back. We have all of the different versions of Santa. So we have a blue Santa, we have a red Santa, we have a Nutcracker Santa, we have a Santa that has a saxophone and a freaking Hawaiian beach shirt on. And they all have to go up. We have all of the ornaments, and I mean all of the ornaments. We have all of the tinsel. We have all of the stuffed animals. My family has an excessive amount of Christmas decorations. Excessive. It's a lot.
Wonder Lisa wants to know why I look like Weebo, because I just happen to pause. My pause game is real strong.
It's not. I just have perpetual derp face. That's what that is.
And it's just, I don't know what it is. Whenever I pause, I just get the best facial expressions. And it looks like Weebs is in the middle of either, oh my God, you're so stupid, or, oh my God, I'm about to black out. I'm so drunk.
I look like I'm being exorcised of my demons. Zombie Teddy Lion Patriot won the bet about how late you would be, Polly.
I was barely late. It doesn't even qualify as tardy in my.
You were 4 minutes late. That is tardy as fuck.
Well, I rushed.
Polly.
I rushed. I was staring at the clock of my car, and I was like, "Oh, I gotta go." Yeah, I rushed to get here. You were not forgotten.
Polly. What you have to understand here is, right, I am one of those people who is of the impression that on time is late, early is on time, and late don't even bother showing up. Actually, no, please bother showing up.
All right.
Specifically you, but I mean, like, it personally, if I'm gonna be late, I'll call ahead and I'll be just like, so I can't make it to my dentist appointment until 10 after instead of at the time, and so I'm sorry.
I was supposed to
alert me, Polly.
I'm not responsible for your fastidiousnesses.
No, you're not, and it's fine. I'm messing with you, but me personally, right? I'm going to give you a hard time about it because of who I am, how fastidious I am.
Okay, but can you explain something to me though? And I appreciate your fastidiousnesses,
Mm-hmm.
but perhaps you can explain to me why it only works in one direction. Like things have to start on time. You have to be there on time. You got a color coded schedule, and that all makes sense. And I'm not even criticizing you for that. But that's on the front end. Now on the back end, you'll float beyond the end of the scheduled time and not give a damn. Things will go over length, and it's not a problem. Why is it Nazi on the front end, lackadaisical hippie on the rear end?
So you're asking me why I'm not super strict about the time on the back end?
Yes.
Same reason that I'm not super strict about the actual like content of the show, right? So we didn't actually set up a schedule for what we would talk about, when we would talk about it. We just said we'll start at this time and we'll go, sure, an hour and a half maybe. But you know, if we happen to go over because we're in the throes of conversation, then we happen to go over. But we did say this time.
Right.
And I guess starting points are just more important than like ending points, because ending points have always been super flexible. Because if you're there on time, that means that it's important to you. And if you happen to say best, sure, that means that it's also important to you. But you can't really plan for the after and how long things are going to take.
The Harry Chan says Weebo has selective pedantry.
Okay, sure. I guess.
It's more arbitrary than anything. It's
well, no. Okay, so like, have you ever been in a meeting with a student and they request, can we start at this time or whatever? Can I come in at this time? And then you say, yeah, sure, but I only have until this amount of time to be here, so I have to go after that. And then you may accidentally just happen to stay longer because, you know, you want to help this kid out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Same kind of idea, except I don't know, does it sound a little bit self-congratulatory if I say I'm helping out Polly by just conversating with him a lot longer than I planned to initially?
You're helping me out?
I'm totally helping you out. No, the analogy doesn't quite work, does it?
No.
No, I guess I'm just saying because I like talking to you.
Oh.
Which is why I'm super annoyed when you always show up super late. How dare you?
Oh. So I've been people have been mocking me for my newfound way of Merry Christmas. I looked up how to say Merry Christmas in Latin and like old proper grammatically proper Latin.
Or actually spell it for me. No, don't spell it for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it and butcher it for the fun of it.
Okay.
Felix des nativitalitis.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's brutal, right? Hold on here. I'll throw it in chat for everyone. And I've been having fun with it. It seems, and it's like, that's the root word of nativity, it looks like. Felix des nativitalitis.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you, Pincolo the Driving Ape Man, for the 99 cents and the upside down smiley face, I think. Yep, that's what that is. Feliz dias. Oh. All right, let me bust out my Latin. It's not as good as my Greek, but I'll try.
All right.
Feliz dias nativitatis. Now, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure the V is supposed to be pronounced somewhat like a, is it a W? Feliz dias nativitatis. Nativitatis. I don't know.
Duck Dog broke it up as nativitatis. Nativitatis. But okay, because when I so I find it, right, and I was doing the reading on there's be happy act, you know, the subtle variations of Latin. It's fucking nuts, right? Just by changing a few things. Yeah. And it's like, is it Merry Christmas to anyone who might hear it, to a particular individual, to you're saying that I am merry at Christmas, and you just change the conjunctions of it. You know what I mean? The fucking Latin is so complex.
The two
so
languages, Greek and Latin, are super complex in the way that they were constructed. It's nuts. There's so much, and I hated studying Greek, but I did it anyway during college.
Yeah, so I spent the time, man. I did the work that I wanted it, the broad-based general one to an individual or group as a wishing, like may you, like it's cast upon the individual, and that's it. And then so I'm like, okay, I've got it. And then that was after about 20 minutes of like working like at the conjunctions of all the ways that you might say it. And so I take it over. So now I've got it. So cut and paste over just to a general Latin dictionary so I can hear it pronounced.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like navatidaptachis, like the people who are fluent in it. And I'm like, whoa, that's got a lot of small syllables in it. Jesus.
My roommate at college, Balik?
Yeah.
One of his majors is Latin.
So you said, yeah.
Yeah. And I could never do it. Nope. Mm-mm.
Oh yeah, I respect the boldness, man, of somebody going there with it.
And there's like no reason to either. It's not like he's actually going to be going into classical archaeology with his studies or anything that he does. And that's the only place that it would be super useful necessarily. And it's not like anyone speaks the goddamn language, so it'd be like that. Yes, Balik is a Latin lover. I suppose. So, Polly, what are you drinking this evening?
I am drinking my newest wonderful concoction that I tweaked just last night, and it's excellent, I tell you.
All right, so lay it on me. What is it?
Well, it's a variation of what I've been drinking before. So dark roast coffee, chilled, like it's iced coffee, right? Mixed with eggnog, with liberal helpings of both sheminicin and nutmeg. And
are you just trying to say cinnamon there?
So I said cinnamon.
Cinnamon.
Cinnamon. That's what I said.
Cinnamon.
Shinmin.
Say synonym.
Cynicism?
Oh, Polly. You precious sweet summer child.
So I made an ex-girlfriend clutch her head and storm out of the room while screaming, "You're driving me crazy!"
You can actually say cinnamon, right?
What? Yeah, cinnamon. Yeah.
Okay, all right, good.
Don't deconstruct the joke, weeps.
What? Me? Not deconstruct the joke? Please. All right, continue. I'm sorry.
We were making French toast, and I said, "Can you pass the sheminicin?" And she said, "Sure." Wait, what did you just say? And I said,
"Which spice is that? Is it with the Indian spices, or is it not with those? Is it next to the paprika?"
And I said that. She said, "Say it again." And I said, "Cinnamon." And she holds it up. She says, "It's sheminicin." And she got this look on her face like somebody was just like pinching her skin, you know what I mean? And she slammed it down and clutched the sides of her head and just sort of walked out of the room and went, "You're driving me crazy."
That's friend abuse, Polly. How dare.
I am a delightful soul, okay?
Okay. All right. I'm sorry. What else goes in this altered St. Nicholas?
Well, bourbon. Obvious.
Of course, obviously.
Well, so, see, I figured out a problem. I don't know if you've ever had a glass of eggnog and you sprinkled a little cinnamon and nutmeg on top. It just sits on top, and you can stir it, but then it gets like it just kind of chunks up together. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh,
you can't get a nice. Yeah. Okay. See, that's a problem, right? But so this is what I figured out. I got one of them mason jars that have the handle on the side and the screw cap top. You know the ones I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, this one's handy because it's got one of those holes in the center of the mason jar cap and one of those retained straws that can't come out. It's like an adult sippy cup.
You're the one infantilizing yourself. I didn't do it.
Well, no, I'm saying like you can't pull the straw out of the top of it once you screw the top on. So Anywho, I figured out, I'm like, wait a minute. I hadn't been drinking that before. I'm like, how am I going to mix this up? And I had this idea that, oh, well, wait a minute. I've got that protein shaker, the thing to mix protein powder with milk or water or whatever, that's got like the grate on the inside of it to make it mix. And I'm like, no, that's far too complicated. Wait a minute, I've got that mason jar. So here's the process. There's the backstory. Here's the process. Is what you do. You take your mason jar. Okay. And those lids that go on the inside with the rubber gasket seal on them when you're canning, Okay. So you grab one of those, and I got a whole bunch because I was just jarring up some crabapple butter and crabapple sauce that I had just made not too long ago. So I had a whole bunch of those jar lids. Okay. So take that jar, throw a bunch of ice cubes in, pour in a little bit of eggnog, pour in a little bit of coffee, and then liberally put in your shaminisin and nutmeg. Okay. Close the lid down on it, and you could give it a good shake and mix it all evenly. See? So you get even seasoning and spices throughout.
Did Polly just invent the shaker, an invention that has already been around and used by bartenders?
Yeah, but that's
many a year.
Okay, yeah, but I mean, that's the 2-part shaker. I got one of those, and that's to chill the drink off, etc., and muddle the lime and lemon with it. And no, because then you got to pour it out, and you already got a dirty thing. This is all happening in one thing. It would be like eating soup out of the pot you cooked it in. It's genius.
So the revolutionary idea is less dishes to clean.
That's right. Less dishes. It's very bachelor oriented. I like it.
Of course, absolutely. Logically.
And I've never had Daniel Foreman asked, does it foam up? Only mildly, actually. So then once you've half mixed it, you just take the top off and you top it up with, I put in a double shot of bourbon and then fill it up with more coffee and more eggnog. And then here was the addition that I figured out last night. I found my peppermint oil in the cupboard when I was looking for something else. I put in a couple of drops of peppermint oil in there as well. Oh my God, it's Christmas in a jar. Because it's cinnamon, eggnog, coffee, and when mixed in that way, it kind of comes, it's dark roast. It kind of comes off chocolatey almost. Oh my, and then that little mint on the back end. Oh, it's Christmas in a drink. It's fantastic. So that's what I'm drinking.
All right.
I had one in the fridge that I hadn't put ice in yet, so that's what I did on my way to my computer. Is stop it, threw some ice in there, gave it a quick shake, and then came down.
I'm gonna have to make myself one of those someday.
No, I highly recommend it. It
sounds delicious.
Yeah.
I kind of failed with my experiment with eggnog when I tried to make spiked eggnog hot chocolate. It tasted great because I added Kahlua into the eggnog and then I just let it sit on the stove and then I mixed in the actual hot chocolate. But the thing is, for whatever reason, eggnog just does not want to mix anything. So here I am whisking it with a fork and it's not actually meshing at all. Very easily, at least. It did get there eventually, but it took forever. But it doesn't keep. Right? Because eggnog, for whatever, it's because of the egg, probably. It cooks when you keep it on low heat, even if you keep it on low heat. So you have to drink it like that. You can't just let it sit and let people drink it at their leisure. So it tastes good. It's very delicious. So you do 1 shot of Kahlua per cup of eggnog. And it's very strong too. So it's dangerously good. But unfortunately, it's not something that you could keep as like a party off to the side in a crock pot, just ladle it out for yourself all you want, kids. It's unfortunate. Eggnog is custard?
I have never thought of that before. It's probably been done a gang of times, but I never thought of it before. If you got some nice, especially homemade thick eggnog, mixing a whole bunch of coffee in there obviously thins it out, and I'm obviously a fan of that because I the coffee and eggnog flavor. I never thought of fucking with the Kahlua. A shot of Kahlua and a shot of bourbon into your eggnog, it won't thin it nearly as much, and you're going to get your coffeeisms that way. Good thinking, Weebs.
Thank you. You're welcome. I'm glad I could be of service. It was a toss-up between peppermint schnapps and Kahlua, and I went with the Kahlua instead.
Who is it that just going to scroll back in chat here? Brian Walters, did you try adding peppermint bark? No, I didn't, but that is a fantastic idea.
Eggnog drop soup.
That platypus is here to heckle me in place of Far.
Of
Because Far's
course.
not here to heckle me. So I feel heckled. Angela would like me to send her some of the recipes for the various drinks, and as well as the apple butter and the applesauce.
Oh, you know what, Polly? If we get to the point,
I could.
We should release a cocktail hour drink mixer book or something.
Barman's guide, that kind of thing.
Yeah, a barman's guide. If we come up with enough drinks, we should start writing these down. Okay, if we come up with enough drinks, we could release a book and like publish it on Amazon or whatever, and that would be like our merch for the year or whatever. No, this is a brilliant idea. I love this. I'm writing it down. Where am I?
Patriot says, keep Monkey away from your peppermint oil, Polly. I still understand Monkey's aversion to the combination of chocolate and mint. That just, he likes them both, but not together. And I find that really odd because taste is taste. You can think whatever you want. That's just the first person I've ever encountered that really detests mint chocolate. It's interesting.
I mean, I get it. It's not my favorite thing, but what are you gonna do? Ooh,
yeah. And then Blind Press suggests a noir bar cocktail recipe book. See, we could do that. A noir, but it's collated over a while, and there it could have your it's a what dreamsicle?
Orange dreamsicle.
An orange dreamsicle could go in there. And then I forget who it is. I was just scanning through chat here. Somebody said, is that still a St. Nicholas or is it a different thing? I would just call it a minty St. Nicholas. It's still the same thing in my mind.
No, a mint Nicholas.
A St. Mintalis?
Oh, a mint Nicholas.
A mint Nicholas?
Instead of St. Nicholas, mint Nicholas. You still get the T at the end of that? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, agnostic Adrid says he doesn't like mint chocolate either. So there you go.
But no, this is a great idea. We should totally do this. If we come up with enough drink ideas. Cocktail hour.
And other recipe-isms.
Yeah. I mean, like, if you come up with some sort of way to cook duck 8 different ways, sure. Speaking of which, how was your duck dinner? Did you manage to catch one?
Yes. No. I got...
So that's a no? You did not catch your Christmas dinner yet?
I didn't catch one. I just caught an image of Polly running around out in the forest with a fucking butterfly net, It's...
Oh, and not even like you as a person, you as an otter. I need that picture. I need it badly. Ooh.
Hey, Pete's here. How's it going, buddy?
Hi, Pete.
Oh, I love this. The memes of destruction and Old Saint Mint. That is fantastic.
All right.
Well done, memes of destruction. That's
Old Saint Mint.
That's actually really good.
I like this a lot. I like this idea a great deal. Entrepreneur of the year right here, Weebo Jones at your service. Hi, Rich. How have you been? Anyway.
So, let me see. Hey, Richard Art. How's it going?
Mm-hmm.
Now that's a way to announce you're here. Not hello, everyone. Not Merry Christmas, everyone. But I have arrived in all caps. I like it.
See, I usually do it with a preceding beep boop. Make them think the robots are coming.
So I got my just looking for something here. I got my soundboard up and running, but the soundboard works fine. It causes severe microphone muffling issues, which I can't figure yeah. And it's a little complex to get started, but yeah, It's
you have the microphone plugged into the soundboard?
No, this is all software.
Okay.
Based. So there's something that's not getting along. My
Probably.
drivers are not getting along with the soundboard like software, or there's an EQ inside the soundboard that I'm not aware of, or the Yeti plug and play drivers are just not, well, there's no drivers, but the plug and play isms are just not jiving with the drivers that I have for Windows 10. I don't know, man. Kind of disappointing though. So what are the you asked about my duck or goose. Oh,
that's right, it was a goose. I'm sorry.
no,
Wrong
we
flying creature.
No, we talked about both actually. Remember, it was like here's a Christmas goose. Doesn't this look delicious? And then a lot of people said just go for duck. It's easier and less expensive. It'll be easier to find and less expensive and very similar. And I'm like, okay, sure. You know,
Canadian geese are aplenty here in the States. I don't know why they're Canadian.
Well, because they've flown south, I would imagine.
No, Canadian geese don't just, they are present in the winter months throughout the year in the Midwest. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but I've seen geese in the snow just hassling each other. Like it's not a big deal. Hanging out in the ponds. You know, the little reservoirs they have?
They gather here in the largest gaggles that it just mind blowing how big the bunch of them are.
Yeah.
And they're not to be fucked with. They are a mean, angry group of birds, man.
Oh, I actually have a story about that. You want to hear it? So my mother is very, very paranoid about my brother and myself and strangers because for whatever reason, this was during the rise of like kidnapping stories, and we didn't live in the safest of neighborhoods, so it was kind of understandable. But we lived maybe 1.5 miles from the school, so we absolutely could have either driven or not driven. We could have walked to school, or we could have taken the bus, which the bus stop was like down the street, all the way at the end, in front of a whole bunch of houses. A cop actually lived on our street, so it would have been totally fine. But she refused. She absolutely refused. So every day she would drive us to and from school. That she had us. Except for one day when my brother begged her to let him walk home from school by himself. Now he's 2 years younger than me, and we're in elementary school at this point. And obviously she's not going to let him do that. My mother is many things. Stubborn is one of those things. And so she is not going to just give up her position on this very easily. What she did was she said, okay, you can walk home, but I'm driving on the street next to you the whole way. So my brother's walking home, and my mother is driving at 2 miles an hour right next to him the whole way home. And he he walks upon one of those little reservoir things that you have with the water and, you know, the little fountain in the middle, maybe some plants on the other side of the thing. Have you ever seen one of those? They're where water collects. They're supposed to be like decorative, but they're useless.
I think so. Maybe
certain townships have them, but they're just basically ponds in the middle of a public space that's not being used for anything. And there were a whole bunch of geese congregating in that area, and my brother is walking right up to them, and he walks right up to them, and I didn't know this until this happened, but geese hiss. They hiss a boatload.
Oh yes. Oh yeah, they do.
And they nip, and they stalk up on their prey. And remember, my brother is in elementary school. He's probably in 3rd grade or whatever. So he's a really small kid, you know, and he's getting ganged up on by a whole bunch of geese. And my mother is in the car right next to him. I'm in the passenger seat, and I'm looking at this, and I'm like, just get in the car, man. Just get in the car. But he doesn't. So what my mom does is she starts chucking shit at the geese out the window from her car. She's telling them to move, get out of the way. And then she eventually just gets my brother back in the car because he can't, for whatever reason, walk around them. It was just the biggest, most ridiculous, most embarrassing, because there were people watching us too. This whole thing went down in public view in broad daylight, with my brother having a standoff with geese, with my mother shouting at the geese to get out of the way and throwing things at them, which you're not supposed to do. You're not supposed to throw things, let alone at geese, and leave them there. And then he just gets in the car and we drive off. But oh my gosh. Oh, Yeah, they were hissing, and they were stalking. They were following him. Like, they're not intimidated, Polly. These geese, that asshole.
Yeah. Ira Prostate said it perfect. Geese are asshole. Yeah, they are. And remember, I don't, anything long-necked waterfowl is or landfowl is stupid. Like turkeys are stupid, swans are stupid, and geese are stupid, but dangerously so because they're angry and dumb.
Angry and dumb.
Yeah, man. So I don't know if that's true of ducks. So I'm just gonna, but I do know it's true of the long-necked variety of fowl. And my
ducks
God,
are at least a little bit more tame, and they mate for life, so they're adorable. Did you know that? Ducks mate for life. Who mates? Ducks.
Do they really?
They do. It's so cute. So if you ever see a duck by himself, it means he lost his mate.
Aw.
Yeah. Yes, I will make my hair into a beard. I will do this for my audience. Are you ready, Polly?
Yes, I am.
Are you ready for this? Oh, Polly, I gave you homework. Did you do it?
Well, there's a story about that.
Oh, so you didn't do it. All right, is this acceptable?
It looks more like a poorly woven scarf.
You're a poorly woven scarf. Excuse me, sir. None of your nonsense here, please.
Have you ever done that in winter for lack of a scarf to protect your ears from the howling wind?
Oh my God, no, I haven't. I didn't need to buy a hat from Walmart this year. I could have just done this. I'm so angry with myself. Ugh. Polly, where were you when I was looking for a hat?
Yeah, you should have texted me. I would have been, what do you mean hat? With all that hair? So wait, you bought one of the ear flap hats?
No, I got a knit hat.
Oh, did you?
Which kind of defeats the purpose of keeping the wind out because it's got holes. Yeah. But I thought it looked cute, and obviously because I'm a woman, style takes precedence over comfort.
Of course. Being a slave to fashion is no yoke to bear. Mm-hmm. It's fine.
Even I, in my tomboyish ways, am a slave to fashion. I know. It's sad, but it is true.
So I started reading on chestnuts.
Mm-hmm.
You ever had a chestnut?
No.
Do we?
I've seen them though.
You've seen them.
Did yeah, I think because you told me to look at chestnuts.
Yeah, we have talked about this. So I went and bought chestnuts and roasted them myself.
Yes.
Not by a fire. I did it in the oven. They were quite good.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like a much more substantial walnut. That's what I had heard, and it's true.
I'm not a big fan of nuts in general.
Really?
Yeah, it stems back to Christmas 2002. I was making cookies, and one of the cookie recipes called for chopped, I think it was almonds. They look like tiny little brains. They're brown. Are they almonds? I can't remember. But I was
almonds
chopping.
Don't look like brains, but walnuts kind of look like brains a little
walnuts. Bit. Maybe it was walnuts. They look like brains. They were because
they come in hemispheres, like on the inside.
Yes, it was walnuts. Okay, so I was chopping up walnuts because they needed to be a certain size for the cookie that we were making.
Uh-huh.
And I chopped the walnuts, and I chopped the walnut, and then I chopped my finger. And ever since then, I can only tolerate peanuts in the butter form, or nuts in general in just the butter formation. Anything else is unacceptable.
Huh.
Yep. Mainly because if I touch a walnut, I'll probably hurt myself.
So I really didn't think that story was going to go in that direction.
Really?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because it involved nothing to do with eating the nuts, imbibing them, consuming them in any kind of way. It was
cookies, and I accidentally cut myself cutting up walnuts. It was traumatizing. I was like 4.
So by this logic, if you had like hurt your hand with a ratchet while helping your dad fix a car, you'd be having aversion to tools or automotives?
Not necessarily.
Well, no, not necessarily. It's interesting.
There was blood everywhere, Polly. It's not all over the cookies. I can't see cookies in the same way either.
I hit it. It was like I hit an artery. It was all over the ceiling.
I actually don't know if it was Christmas 2002, but it was when I was super young. And I just remembered it too, actually. No, I just really don't like the taste of nuts. For whatever reason, they're super dry. And they always taste funky.
They
don't go down.
Taste funky. They taste roasty and wonderful.
I don't know. Bits get everywhere. They get in your teeth, and then you gotta like. I have like a nut piece stuck right. It's the same reason I can't eat popcorn.
Oh, really? You don't like popcorn? Oh man, Weebo.
I mean, I like popcorn. I just prefer not to eat it because it's annoying.
So let's get back to this homework.
Yes. So your homework that you didn't do.
I did procure the film.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then remember you said that we were going to do a one-off Christmas stream for Noir. Well, you're either going to come by Noir Bar. We were going to do a one-off stream for Cocktail Hour, a Christmas themed one. Mm-hmm. Not that we haven't been talking Christmas crap all the time. You don't have a Christmas hat on. Well, as does my avatar over here. But you said we would, quote, play it by ear and you would let me know. And I said, well, and then remember I said, I'm not going to watch the movie until you get back to me. And you never did.
I don't recall this.
Convenient.
Convenient forgetfulness is convenient. Okay. All right. You know what? Let's do this.
I was actually, the truth be told, I was actually going to watch it anyway, but I didn't get around to it because I started watching Christmas specials. So
that's fair.
In the end, it's my fault anyway.
Fair.
You know what I'm scheduled to watch after this? Speaking of Christmas specials,
what?
The 1999 edition of A Christmas Carol, starring none other than Patrick Stewart as Ebenezer Scrooge.
Really? He was Ebenezer Scrooge?
Yeah, man. I got a copy of it, and I'm happy. I'm super excited. Sir Patrick, man.
It's funny you say that because I just watched the Charles Dickens episode of Doctor Who, which is like the third one of the first season.
Oh, nice.
With Christopher Eccleston. God, I'm going to ruin my life in the next couple of weeks because I think I'm going to watch the rest of the first season, the second season, third season, all the way up until the depressing episodes get there. And then I'm going to depress myself the F off. It's going to be bad. It's going to be really bad. I'm not going to be a happy camper this Christmas season.
Duck Dog just mentioned, check this drink out. A cup of Chambord, a cup of limoncello, a bottle of Prosecco. I can see that being really good. It's citrusy and blackberry-y, but then effervescent and
I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah. I'm typing a note myself. That's a good suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
And then a whole bunch of people are like, Lion Patriots says it's my favorite version, Polly. And then Chaos Eve's in chat. Hey, Eve. And says, oh yeah, that's what we settled on, isn't it? Yeah, we kind of arrived at that. Pete asked, would you consider Home Alone a Christmas movie? I do. I'm not
Die Hard's a Christmas movie.
Die Hard's a Christmas movie, but that was last year. This year's insistence is Trading Places is a Christmas movie. Harry Channel says, I saw his live one-man performance of A Christmas Carol. Fantastic. Like, you saw it live? You were in the audience? Because that's fucking epic. I've heard an audio recording of it, but saw it live or a video recording of it? No, never. I just heard it. And yeah, it's pretty epic. One-man version of it.
Cynical Lindsay is asking why I have my hair like this. It's because I'm completing the look of Santa Claus.
Her ears are cold.
It's actually getting itchy. I'm not going to lie. And no, it's not because of the dandruff.
Do you have any idea the laughs that we got out of tweeting that 70s commercial for Head and Shoulders at you?
I bet you got a lot of laughs out of it, Polly. I'm sure you tormented, sweet, innocent child of the Lord.
And all I got in response was cease in all capital letters.
Yep. All right, I hope you guys don't hate me taking it out. It's been in long enough. You got to be able to see my beautiful neck.
Well, Cynical Lindsay says technically Trading Places can be both a Christmas movie and a New Year's movie. It's true. You're not wrong. So if you missed it as a Christmas movie, feel free to watch it in the intervening time.
What movies do you typically watch around this time of year, Polly? Like top 3 Christmas movies for you?
At least one of the Rankin Bass films, like the stop motion animation ones. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer's the most famous of them.
Those terrify me.
Really? Why?
Yeah, I don't. I think it's the Yeti. Because there's a Yeti in the Rudolph one, right?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's it. I think that's what terrifies me. Because I don't have a problem when I watch Wallace and Gromit. Stop motion animation doesn't freak me out. It's just like the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer movie.
Right.
It gives me feelings, you know?
Yeah. But there's a bunch of other ones. There's like Rudolph's Shiny New Year's and oh crap, hold on. Let me see. I'm just going to open up my Christmas movie folder here. Okay, there's Nestor, the Long-Eared Christmas Donkey, which is underrated. Mm-hmm. Rudolph and Frosty's Christmas in July, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and the Island of Misfit Toys, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the original 1964, Rudolph Shiny New Year, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, The Year Without Santa Claus, and 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, all by the same Rankin and Bass studio and the same animation style.
I think I only ever saw the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer one.
Yeah, you should check out any of the other ones. They're great. Okay. And Nestor, the Long-Eared Christmas Donkey, like I said, that's the underrated one. It's the nativity story, and Nestor's like one of the nativity animals, but the whole story is kind of told from his perspective. Yeah. If you know what I mean, like all of the trials and tribulations and misadventures that he gets in, and he eventually ends up at the nativity.
Oh, before we continue, Golden Age Radio donated $1 over on Streamlabs to say, race here, watch Muppet Christmas Carol, or you dishonor your family and must commit Sudoku. Get it? Because Sudoku.
You must do number puzzles?
Yes, you must commit number puzzles. I'm actually really good at those.
Are you really?
Yeah, I'm kind of a big deal in the Sudoku community. Sudoku community. There we go.
One Ton Hammer's in chat. Hey, Hammer, how's it going? And he mentioned there's a difference between a Christmas movie that takes place at Christmas and one that's actually about Christmas.
No, I think that's a fair them all together.
So do I generally, but I think it's a fair distinction.
Because, like, okay, all right. A movie that's about Christmas. What does that mean exactly? Is it about Santa Claus? Is it about a Christmas-related thing? Is it about the spirit of Christmas? Does it have specifically to do with, like, Christmas tree? Like, when you say Christmas, or Christmas movie, what do you mean by that? Like, is Christmas just a backdrop? Is it just the scenery? Or is it, like, integral to the plot? It couldn't take place at any other point in time with any other holiday.
Well, I think that's kind of the point that he's making. It's like, let's say that it's a like a family drama that that is just happening over the Christmas holiday. You know, some crap like Woody Allen would make. You know,
like, does The Holiday count as a Christmas movie?
The Holiday, I don't know.
Jack Black and no.
I don't know it. Okay, well, here's the. I mean, it can be about Christmas in the sense that it's integral to the plot and you can't get away from it, or religiously so about the holiday. Yeah, I think both those would fit in being about Christmas as opposed to something that's merely happening during Christmas. Like Die Hard and Trading Places are both Christmas films in that they're both occurring during Christmas. Are they integral to the plot? Probably not. I mean, John McClane could have been in town for the 4th of July. You know it.
Sure. Okay. So, for instance, The Holiday, right, takes place during Christmas. It's a rom-com essentially, where these two women who are down on their luck in life and relationship kind of stuff. They want to get away for the holidays, and so they end up trading houses. One lives in like California, sunny California, and she trades places with a woman who lives in middle of nowhere UK in a cottage, like in the middle of the woods, because she's like a trailer producer, and the other girl who lives in the UK is like a news reporter or something, or columnist, and they trade houses. They just trade houses, and then the story is all about how they fall in love. But it could not happen without the implications of being alone on Christmas for the holidays being such an integral part of the storyline. So does that count as a Christmas movie? Even though they barely touch on the Christmas aspect, it's just going on holiday.
There's going to be gray areas, of course, but I would say from what you described, I would say it's just during Christmas. Like Memes of Destruction says, Die Hard focuses on the importance of family, which is certainly a Christmas theme, but he could have been in town for his son's birthday, and the whole thing would have played out the same.
Perhaps. Although they're having a Christmas party, and that's how all of the hostages are taken. So could it?
His son's birthday is on the 4th of July.
Okay, yeah, but why would all of the people be at the company?
They're having a 4th of July party. Well, what? That's a thing. And instead of walking around with Santa
why would you bring your son to your July 4th Christmas party for his birthday?
But none of his family, none of his kids were at the office Christmas party.
Okay, but why would the wife, the ex-wife, the whatever, why would she skip her son's birthday party to go to an office party?
Why was she was there working late? She wasn't there for the Christmas party.
This is falling apart at the seams, and you know it. Just give up.
She wasn't at the Christmas party, and you know it. She was working. Remember, her boss Takagi kept coming up to her saying, "Come out and enjoy the party," and she's like, "Oh no, I got to work to do." And she was surprised when she ran into John. She didn't expect him to be standing in her office when she walked in. She knew that he might be coming to town, but certainly didn't expect him to just show up at the place.
Okay. All right. I'll have to rewatch it. We'll see.
Well, Wandering Lisa said, why would a Japanese company hold a 4th of July party? That's a good question, but why?
That is a good question, Polly.
It's answered within the lore of the film, because it's a Christmas party. And John McClane actually says to Takagi, "Oh, really? I didn't think they celebrated Christmas in Japan." And he holds up his arms and says, "We're flexible." Really? Why would they celebrate the 4th of July, Mr. Takagi, in Japan?
Hang on. The 4th of July is a patriotic holiday, whereas Christmas is more of a religious holiday.
Yeah, but he's doing it to be flexible with the Americans.
Okay. All right. Okay. But don't 4th of July parties usually happen outside in like
a cookout kind of thing?
Yeah, like it's a cookout.
Yeah, I would tend to listen. You're too focused on the 4th of July.
Your 4th of July party sucks, Polly. If you're having it in an office building.
Well, you know what? There, I will agree with you. A 4th of July party inside of an office sucks. And the Hurricane says the Japanese do kind of celebrate Christmas. Yeah, in ways they certainly do. You're not wrong. KFC and everything. So.
Okay, but you didn't finish the question, because I asked for the top 3 movies, and you said, "Oh, like it switches between one of the stop motion animation picture things."
Okay, no, you're right.
Not your 2 other ones.
No, you're right. I would have to say Trading Places, because I'm very fond of that film. That would be another one.
I've never seen it, so I have no idea what it is.
Oh, really? Wow, are you in for a treat? You get to watch it for the first time. Awesome.
I get to watch it for the first time. I'm writing it down. All right.
Let's see.
It's the movie I'll probably watch right after I finish watching Neptune's Beard for research purposes. Yeah. Or Neptune's Beard. Neptune's Daughter, which is a 1949 classic.
Yeah.
Musical.
And I mean, okay, so Circus Zero says it's Christmas is chosen for a reason, that it's special to that day and doesn't happen on other days. Hey, don't get me wrong. I think that Die Hard is a Christmas movie, and I'm not arguing that it's not. I'm merely making the argument that it's not a movie about Christmas in particular. So it's happening during Christmas, which means in my mind, it's fucking Christmas movie full on. The people that don't want to accept that, well, fuck them. I'm really making the point. There's a difference between a religious movie that's about like the nativity of Jesus or something like that is more about Christmas proper in the sense of, meaning of the holiday as opposed to something that happens over the holiday. That's a fair distinction that Hammer was making. So I only get to pick one more movie, right? Scrooged. Yeah. It would be Scrooged with Bill Murray.
Okay. All right. Makes sense. Mine's a lot more childish than yours, I gotta say. Although the stop motion animation seems pretty childish. A little bit terrifying. Top 3 movies. Jim Carrey's The Grinch Who Stole Christmas. Because I'm a child.
Yeah.
Obviously. I don't know. I just get such a kick out of that movie every time I watch it. It's so great.
Okay.
Let's see. What's it called? Oh my God, Christmas Vacation, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Oh, great call. Absolutely. Great call.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I always get a kick out of that. Oh, so it's such a great movie. My entire family loves that movie. We can quote it line for line. Bailick's never seen it, by the way, which is a loss on his part, but it's okay. He'll rectify it this Christmas, hopefully. All right, and then it's a toss-up between It's a Wonderful Life and White Christmas. Or White Christmas.
Not Miracle on 34th Street?
No.
Okay.
That's the one with the little girl whose mom works for the Macy's Day Parade or whatever, right? No. Which one is that?
Which one is that?
You just suggested it. I assumed that you knew what you were talking about, Polly, when you suggested it. Ow.
No, hold on. Well, just really quick. If All Potato says, what about Gremlins? I have to rewatch Gremlins. It's been years. I do agree that it's a Christmas movie. I mean, I know that much. I definitely remember that much about it. But I want to revisit all them little rubber puppets and see if all the effects hold up and everything.
Everyone, put your top 3 Christmas movies in chat.
I mean, Gizmo was a Christmas present after all, right? And Pete says, wait, no He-Man Christmas special? I love the He-Man Christmas special.
I've never seen it.
Orko learns about Jesus Christ. It's hilarious.
Oh my God.
and the Star Wars Holiday Special.
I don't think it counts as a Christmas movie.
If you watch it the way you should, with the commercials intact, it becomes a Christmas movie.
No. I'm gonna disagree. Life Day has nothing to do with Christmas.
It's an obvious allegory.
Nope. Allegory only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. I don't fucking know. Allegory only counts when I'm trying to draw connections between the Jews and Tolkien's dwarves.
The Hurricane says the Star Wars Holiday Special is better than The Last Jedi, is greater than The Last Jedi. I actually unironically agree. There's more entertainment value. It's more quotable. It's more interesting. It's so good it's bad, but in every way that a movie can be good, in the sense of quotable, talkable, memorable, it's better than The Last Jedi. Yes, absolutely, all the way. I agree.
Polly, did you just double down on it's quotable? That the Star Wars Holiday Special is quotable. Half of that movie is just Chewbacca speak. Not half. Maybe most of it.
15-20% at the most.
A good majority, I think.
You see, that's another thing. We were going to do that, and Weebs with her color-coded schedule that's so full of things and people that don't involve Polly. We
did not say we were going to do that. We talked about it.
No, you said it's a great idea. We have to do this.
But I didn't say when we were going to do it. We just never settled on a date.
The middle of March doesn't make much sense, yo.
And by the time we talked about it, it was already past Life Day. Remember, because we had Life Day on this channel. Remember?
Yeah, but it was before. Well, okay, fair enough. But that doesn't mean we can't do it before Christmas.
Okay. So, you want to do it before Christmas?
Well, yeah, yeah,
All right,
yeah, I
let me
totally
on
do.
my schedule. All right, you know what? I have all right. So I have a dentist appointment this Monday. I have a dermatology appointment this Tuesday. But the rest of the week, you know, later in the evening, I'm totally free.
What? You got a super chat that I'm looking forward to understanding.
Thank you, the Harry's channel, for $5. Psst. Also, Aslan is Jesus. Oh, have you not seen Narnia? Also, does Narnia count as a Christmas movie? Because there's snow on the
I,
ground in the beginning.
you know what's funny?
Hmm.
I am a big fan of C.S. Lewis. Big fan. I've done live reads of C.S. Lewis on my channel, but
Mhm.
I've never read any of the Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe. All never read it. Never seen the films. Nothing.
I read the first one, um, the first book. Like this is oh, what is it called? I don't even remember what it's called, but it tells the story of how Narnia became a thing. And it was trippy as fuck, man. I'm not gonna lie. But I couldn't sit through it because I read it when I was maybe 12 because I thought I was sophisticated and like intelligent and mature and I thought I could handle it and I could not handle it because it's a little bit more mature than I thought I would need to be, you know.
Excuse me.
So then I went back to young adult cheesy high school fantasy books.
Mm-hmm.
Read way too many vampire novels. Read way too many post-apocalyptic
You know what?
dystopians.
This is sort of off topic for Christmas, but I'm curious because this is an opportunity to
Yeah.
ask. Okay, you're an intelligent, considered, articulate young lady. What is it with, in your mind, young women, teenage girls, and vampires? What is it about the lore, etc., in your mind that is so attractive?
Um, well, personally for me, I was a big fan of the fantasy aspect of anything fantasy. That wasn't just limited to vampires. I had a thing for witches and warlocks and vampires and vampire hunters, monster hunters, take your fancy, werewolves, whatever. Just because I had a thing for all things sci-fi, fantasy, what have you.
Okay.
Obsessed with it. Anything that had to do with mythology, I was on top of that shit. Percy Jackson and the Olympians, on top of it. But regarding women, it had to do with the popularity of the Twilight series. And I'm not even kidding on that. It all started with the Twilight series. And then after that, you see a rise in the publication of vampire novels, vampire-esque novels. And they're not even good. They're just vampire novels. And I've read a few of them, certainly. Just because I was curious. Sometimes they were a little bit more mature than I thought that they should have been. Like if you go on the Weebo Incognito channel, I did a review of the House of Night series, at least the first book. And as a child, I remember it being very mature for my age because I was in middle school when I read that. And I was actually surprised that they allowed that book to be available in a middle school library because there's literally a scene in that book where a girl is giving another guy a blowjob. I read that and I didn't quite understand it until I was going back over it as an adult. And I was like, this actually happened? I read that and I didn't understand anything about it, but it was mature for the time in terms of the content. Now, the actual language of the book was super simplistic. It was childish. It was. I couldn't actually sit through a book like that because it's created for a young adult audience now. But the content is definitely more mature. It is geared towards that romantic aspect, towards that glorifying of the, oh, I'm so important, the Mary Sue kind of, the character has the entire universe revolving around her aspect.
Uh-huh.
That's the appeal. Because girls, this is going to sound really bad, girls at that age, not all, but girls at that age regard the universe as revolving around them, or they want it to. They want everything to bow to their whim, to their fantasy, to just kind of fall into place for them, as if it were one of the books that they read, as if it were one of the stories that they write sometimes. And so as a result, anything that does fall into that, that does play into that, becomes immensely popular. The Twilight series does that very well. It kind of revolves around Bella Swan, and she is like just a blank character, a blank slate. She doesn't actually have a personality, and that's how girls can kind of fit themselves into that character model. And it
Yeah,
does that really well. That's
I've
why it
heard.
was so successful.
I mean,
And then a whole bunch
I've
of
certainly
novels
heard that
followed that up.
description before. The over on the Streamlabs. Thank you, Evolved Potato. Vampires are awesome. Just don't read those sparkly pussy ones. Read Helsing. It might be a manga, but it's still awesome. I've heard that. And then there was the one Inquisitor pitched on Comic Book Curation 2 weeks ago. A hardcover copy he got. What was it? Death Ship, and it was entirely about the crew transferring Dracula's crypt and body and soil and stuff from Transylvania to England. What happened on that ship over there, and it fucking looked like a great graphic novel from what he was showing. I still want to go get a copy. So I mean, yeah, there's lots of lore that's in and around that's worth it. I'd like reading that manga. It's fine. I'm okay with manga. Well, I mean, you said the Twilight thing, and that certainly popularized it, and I get that. But I mean, it definitely for teenage girls predates Twilight. I mean, Buffy and etc. And I've asked people before I've asked girls before, and the answer is always seduction. That the super slick, seductive male vampire is very sexy for some reason. There's exchange of bodily fluids, but not in a sexual way. So it's got the whiff of strong sexuality about it, but it's not openly like hardcore penetration.
Okay. In that case,
this is the explanation that I've been given. So I'm just like,
there is a and this one I did fall victim to, I guess you could say. Teenage girls have a thing called like bad boy syndrome, right? They kind of get obsessed with the classic bad boy, the one with the slick back greaser hair or whatever, the dangerous, I break the rules, I have my own way of doing things type of characterization, and they're drawn to that for whatever reason. And I think it's because of the element of confidence that character eludes. So the bad boy personification, essentially, they're drawn to that. And a vampire kind of has that in stride, depriving people of their lifeblood is kind of like one of those pinnacle things that definitely outlines this person as a bad boy in that sense. So that's probably part of the reason why they're so popular, is because vampires are characterized as, I have to do this. I am evil, but like misunderstood evil or whatever. And I'm the only one that can save him. Oh.
Well, you know what? I can actually segue this over because there's an entire genre of films that are Christmas related, Christmas horror films. They're kind of in and they tend to be just happening around Christmas, but then they're also about Christmas, like Krampus, and so forth.
I've never seen Krampus.
Now, I highly recommend it. It is a good goddamn film. Like, it's not epic, should be on your top 10 list of all time, but oh my God, it's definitely worth your 2 hours. It's really well done. Krampus from 2015. There it is. I've got a really small folder of Christmas horror films that I need to expand. The only thing that's in here is A Christmas Horror Story, Black Christmas from 74, Black Christmas from 06, Krampus from 2015, Santa Sleigh, and Silent Night, Deadly Night, the original from 84. The unrated remastered 1080p Blu-ray.
I didn't know that Christmas horror was like is as big a thing as you've made it out to be now. That might be a genre that I have to invest in.
I didn't even realize that myself till like a couple of years ago when people were talking about Christmas horror films. I'm like, come on, how many of those are there? And it's like, what do you mean? Dozens.
Oh, the Hurricane says for $5, I blame Interview with a Vampire for the female love of vampires. I saw that movie, and it was a lot more. It's a lot more gay than Fight Club was ever to me whenever I watched it.
Don't use that as the standard.
Well, because you said, oh, Fight Club is like regarded as super gay. No, it's not. No, it's not.
By ranting
That
monkey mostly, and then people who want to see it. I mean, you know what I saw the other day? I saw some dumbass blog posting that actually came out on some pathetic news site arguing that Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is actually a gay allegory, the entire thing. And it just made me think of Monkey arguing that Hermie the elf is gay because Monkey wants to see gaiety everywhere. I don't know what it is with him, but he does.
Imposing current day culture onto that of not current day culture.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking, see, Monkey, it's people like you that have started this. Now the entire film is seen as being a fucking gay allegory.
It's not just him, and it's not just in film, actually. People see a lot of their own biases in historical context as well, right? Balik and I were actually having this conversation a few nights ago, right before we left to go back home. He's like, yeah, so historically, people impose their own real world, current day interpretations of things onto, ancient burials of people or whatever, representations of people. Like, for instance, in ancient Rome, it is undeniable that men and boys would have intercourse with each other, but it wasn't because they loved each other. It wasn't anything to do with inherent homosexuality. It was purely regarding a power exchange, right? Because if you were dominating the submissive, you were obviously the one in power, and that was kind of a big deal back in the day, but it wasn't a gay thing the way that we think of it. And so imposing your own modern day biases onto historical context is kind of par for the course nowadays. And they do that to everything. It's not just history, it's TV, it's poetry. We have bananas that are supposedly worth $10,000 that somehow are worth that much, but are just bananas taped to walls, and we're imposing our own interpretations onto that, and it's just ridiculous to me. Because you have to step back, and you have to realize that not everything's about you. Not everything is about the way that you interpret it. There are contexts that you are not aware of, that you are not looking into, that you don't even have an interest in, that are actually playing a part in this crucial interpretation that you're just dusting off. Like, it's not a big deal. And that's actually really annoying. Super annoying.
Devil Fruit Zero says, hey, Polly, it's still a horrible movie, whether it's gay or not.
Wait, are we talking about...
I was thinking Rudolph is what's being talked about.
The Rudolph? Still traumatizes me, but it has nothing to do with an allegorical gayness. Why can't it just be something that stands by itself without the interpretation of modern day society? Please.
Yeah. Oh, geez.
You okay?
I just swallowed wrong there. You choked me. Yeah, I know. It's Daniel Fullman said Monkey's theories of Rudolph said no one likes you until you can do something for them. I think because of some badly chosen dialogue that they didn't think through because they were writing for kids, so who cares? That film comes across that way. I think it's pretty fucking clear what the intention was supposed to be. They just failed in execution. The idea is that it's an ugly duckling story.
Yeah. It's an attempt to be.
Yeah. And it just kind of falls short of that. And only as an adult with our cynical ass, world weary, crushed spirits that we have because of the daily grind are we seeing this cynical angle of it. Kids are not seeing it that way. They're seeing, oh my God, he was special all along. It's an ugly duckling story. It's even things that make you seem like you're an outcast or whatever. Actually, everybody is special. And this outcast, the most outcast of all, both Hermie and Rudolph turn out to be extremely special by the end of the movie because they always were. It's just they didn't understand it, and bad people around them were convincing them otherwise. And it seems like a big story of usury because it was written for kids and they didn't really think very much about the dialogue. That's my call.
Well, yeah, when you write for kids, you're not necessarily thinking a great deal about dialogue, unless it's a Pixar movie, in which case then you put little innuendos into the movie just for adults, just because they're the only ones that are going to pick up on it. And I only realized that a few years ago when I became an adult.
Does Noir Bar have a booster seat for Weebo? No, but we have the extra tall bar stools, so even munchkins can see over the top of the brass rail.
I'm taller than a munchkin, you know.
I'm the tallest of all the munchkins. They get me to
listen.
They get me to reach stuff on the top shelf.
Listen. I don't like being disrespected.
You know what's fun? I was talking with I think it was Eve about that. I said, you know, when Weeb saw me for the first time, she was 5'2". I had no idea. She didn't look that short. And he was like, how would you know? And I'm like, well, that's what I'm saying. It's like, what do you mean she didn't look like? It's like, I don't know, just sitting there. She never, and I realized, well, I've never seen her standing next to anything until that one video where I saw you kind of like walking. I was like, oh yeah, she is pretty short now that I see her next to a countertop.
What's funny, right? Everyone makes fun of me because I'm so short, but I used to be the tallest person in the family. I had a growth spurt before everyone else did. At 13, I was the tallest of all of the 5 grandchildren of my grandmother. Yeah, Grandma Jones has 5 grandchildren. Get over it. Anyway, I was the tallest, and it was great for a whole 6 months. And then they started growing past me.
Thank you very much, Harry. Thank you very much, Harry Channel, for the donation. It says, I like when people try and apply post-Enlightenment principles to the Middle and Dark Ages of Europe. If you used a time machine and tried to explain, quote, freedom to them, they probably wouldn't understand you. That's solid as fuck. That's a solid as fuck observation.
Oh my God. If anyone has ever taken a Euro civilization course or anything to do with if anyone had ever looked at the actual documents put out from certain time periods. I mean, not like the Dark Ages having a plethora of documentation being put out, but they have art, right? And you can interpret it pretty well. But if you ever take a document from a time period that you're not from, and you're like, let me read through this, and you actually look at it and you analyze it, and you're like, oh wow, so they genuinely do not have an idea of personal freedoms. Divine right is all that they know. They have no other reference with which to look at their worldview. Does no one grasp the concept of an epiphany? An epiphany is an epiphany for a reason. Also,
it happens on January 6th, and it's specifically located when the Magi showed up to give gifts to the baby Jesus.
There you go. You got it. The next 6 minutes, thanks to the 314 over on the Streamlabs. Nice hat weaves. Hey, everybody. This girl needs some awesome college money, and she has badass merch. Redhead Lives Matter, y'all. Epic high fives and fist bumps to Weebo Jones and Polydub. Everyone give Polly high fives. Yay. I love it when you guys shill for me instead of me having to come up with my own unique shill for me and Polly. Believe it or not, I'm actually not that creative when I'm intoxicated. I'm just a blethering idiot.
Thanks, Six. You know what I forget to do on every stream?
What?
Is the like and subscribe. And I know people get sick of people saying that, remember to like and subscribe, but it occurred to me, Shillip DeFaco with his, and I'd like to turn it over to you. Put your comments below that no one's going to fucking read, but I want to make it seem like we're all part of a community here with my 6 million subs and blah, blah, blah. But it occurred to me the other day, that arm flapping fake ass, he's got a point in terms of, I should be saying that for Noir Bar Comic Book Curation, is like, I'd like to hear your thoughts beneath, because I do get a chance to read every and respond to most. I've actually fallen behind in responding to the comments. I'm going to go do that after the stream here. Run through and respond to them. And like Angela writes all of these responses, comments beneath it. And I love it. I love reading all the stuff that she thinks, but I want to hear what everybody thinks. Chat flows quick, and people that are listening after the fact don't get a chance to comment in chat. That's awesome. I'm telling people, argue with us, comment on us. What's your take on this or that? That art sucked if it's comic book curation, or that was a funny story, or you guys should talk about this on Noir Bar, or whatever.
Feedback's important.
My channel, your channel. I mean, your channel's, you got 10 times my subs, but
That doesn't really mean very much since I don't get a lot of viewership anyway.
But I mean, the point is that like, I recognize almost everybody in chat when I'm on my channel, and then when I come over here, there's some overlap. There's a lot of new people. The point is the community, whatever you want to call it, the people that come, the viewers, the bar guests, as I call them for Noir Bar. That's small enough that it's actually, it's possible to do what Shillip DeFaco pretends he can do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, how do we engender that becomes the question. I realize not everyone's going to want to write a comment, and that's cool. If that's just not your thing, that's not your thing. But while you're watching the video, if you come across something that you want to comment on, fucking do so, man.
Don't hesitate.
I don't know if people realize that. That's not a, people like myself, and I know Weebs, and I know Monkey, and I know Jack and Inquisitor and shit. We love comments that are directed. We love to hear what people are thinking, good, bad, negative, whatever. And if you want to be negative, like decry something, go ahead, but put something that's worthwhile and substantive, and you're gonna get a response. I think you guys were off when you said this. You know what I mean? Like, fuck you, cocksucker. Well, you're not going to get a response because that's just you being a fucking dick and a keyboard warrior. Go fuck yourself. But
I don't know. People call me Cave Beast. Usually it's indicative of like a 3-part series and maybe an entire Warski Live.
People are calling you Cave Beast. I mean, that's thinking that they're being harsher than fuck you, Becky. And if that's the best you can do, again, go fuck yourself.
I'm actually a little bit bad at that, at also commenting. I gotta get better at it. I'm a lurker. I'm a chronic lurker, and it's not because I don't have things to say, because obviously I do. I have an entire channel dedicated to the things that I have to say. But the issue is time, right? And so I listen to a lot of YouTube when it is that I'm busy doing other things. So I don't have a lot of time to just go, so let me write you a 12-page paragraph of exactly why it is that you were wrong using explicit details, timestamps, and or graphics. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah.
And if I wanted to do that, I usually just do it in a video. Although sometimes whenever Monkey has something to say that I blatantly disagree with, I'll definitely just be like, excuse me. That's wrong.
Well, but remember, you're a girl.
Yes, and
well, I was aware of that part,
Polly.
Polly.
Thank you for acknowledging my genitals. Go on.
What did you just say?
Thank you for acknowledging my genitals. Go on.
There. Okay. Just I laughed over it when you said it the first time, and I got my soundboard up and running. Now I'm going to go back and clip that. I want to clip the Weebo saying, "Thank you for acknowledging my genitals." I'll just say, "What did you just say?" And you said it again. Yes. Okay. I was win. Well, the point is that Monkey, God love him. I love the man to death. He's fantastically generous with his time and his platform and shit. And I get a kick out of streaming with him and arguing with him and stuff. But let's just say he's acquiescent in a way with women that there's no fucking way he would ever be with men.
Are you serious? He's acquiescent with women? Have you ever actually seen a discussion between me and Monkey? We disagree like cats and dogs. It's never pretty, and it's never like it resolves.
And you've never noticed how every one of his disagreements comes in the form of a extremely sexual flirtation?
Okay, you know what? That's fair.
He's disagreeing so he can reference your lady parts.
Also, have you heard of Weebo's?
And don't get me wrong, I look forward to being a dirty old man like Monkey. I'm taking mental notes. It's
someday. Or you have to find a woman that's going to tolerate that nonsense.
Yeah, well said. Also Cynical Lindsay, that reminds me. Sorry, chat's scrolling, guys. I lost track of this. Cynical Lindsay said, don't I get a spot at Noir Bar? You are welcome. You got a stool reserved at Noir Bar anytime you want. If you're up late enough, by all means, just hit me up and don't ask, demand. You will be welcome in for sure. And then somebody else says, Polly only likes to stream with the ladies. And I forget who said that. I can't find it. But who doesn't like the ladies? I'm not going to take that as a criticism.
I quite enjoy myself, but that's about it. I'm not a big fan of the ladies. They annoy me.
Well, I mean, I stream with Far a lot because one, she's fun to talk to, and two, people get a big kick out of her being on the stream, and I can understand why because they enjoy listening to her stream as much as I enjoy streaming with her. But she's up at that time because she's one of the Aussies. That's a huge aspect of it, is that I'm a night owl, and Aussies who actually live by human time are, that's just the late evening for them, not the middle of the morning like it is for me, right?
All right, I need to amend what I was going to say. In my experience, talking with women can be a little bit catty, and in that respect, I might be a little bit of a misogynist. I'm not going to lie, but I take after my grandma in that respect, all right? It's fine. Not a big deal. Women are just a little bit off-putting to me, discussion-wise.
Well, Daniel Fulman just hurt my feelings.
What did you do? Norbar needs Christmas lights.
Do you know the work I put into the Christmas decoration? I mean, okay, fine. There's no lights, but I had a fucking fireplace installed.
Okay, but does the fireplace have stockings?
Yes.
Okay. Are they red and green?
Yes, actually. The stockings, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Is there a Christmas tree?
No. I tried, but I couldn't get the tree to look like it was actually in the bar.
That's fair.
My Photoshop was fighting me and stuff.
It's okay.
There's garland. We have a Judy Garland.
There's a Judy Garland?
Garland.
A Judy Garland.
Yes, it's a garland with a whole bunch of Judy Garland faces in it, so it's a Judy Garland.
And where did you get this Judy Garland?
I found it. See, if you would come by Noir Bar, you would have known this already. We got a fireplace. We have mistletoe.
Okay.
We have,
all right.
We have Christmas balls, like the little glass balls.
Hang on.
We have a poinsettia.
Hang on. A poinsettia?
A poinsettia. Yeah.
Poinsettia.
Yeah, we have a poinsettia.
Okay. All right. Hold on. To be fair, the last 2 weeks have been hell for me because of finals and finals week upcoming and all of the projects that were due. Polly, I want you to understand. All right. I had my thesis due. I had 2 projects. I had a presentation and a 12-page paper due, plus 3 finals. That's like a whole 8 things. So I'm sorry I couldn't stop by New Orleans.
Well, I just remember the Christmas. I subscribe and adhere and entreat everyone to adhere to the 12 days of Christmas, meaning Christmas doesn't end on December 25th at 11:59. Christmas goes right up until Epiphany, guys. That's January 6th.
Oh, that's right. You're a weirdo.
I'm festive. It's different.
Overly festive.
I'm going by the traditional dating. Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, January 6th might be when it is that I leave for Paris. No, that's the first day of the class that is about to take me to Paris. I have another week before I go to Paris. Okay. All right. Speaking of which, I'm going to Paris. All right. So January is going to be a little bit wonky content-wise. Hopefully I can get some stuff preempted in order to put something up. I think I might do a 4-part video. But yeah. Or maybe I'll ask Polly to put something on the channel. I don't know. Get him some subscribers.
God knows I can need him with your 10 times my subs.
Exactly. I mean, so long as it's entertaining enough.
As many people have made clear to me, including in my fucking DMs, I'll say, we come here for Weebo, not your dumb ass. And say, well,
really?
Fuck yeah.
Oh my gosh. See, usually people just tell me that to my face in the comment section, and I'm just like, well, if you don't like the cocktail hour, then you don't have to be here. I still put out content regularly every week, except for the last 2 weeks. I was busy with finals. I do apologize. I feel horrible about it, but you'll get a good chunk of nonsensical Weebo nonsense in the
You
next
can't.
2 weeks.
I've learned internet's going to internet.
You can't win, can you, Polly?
What? But I mean, internet's going to internet. And you take whatever. Who was it that said that? Wasn't Chappelle? Who was it that said that? The line is, take anything you read online or hear online in terms of a comment on social media and turn it from 11 down to 6, and that's probably what the person actually thinks.
Yeah.
Like the harshness with which somebody will say something, because they're limited in character allotment, right? So they're going to say it harsher because there's this assumption that that's how you're going to get it across, and it's a giant pool of social media is just oversaturated everything. So I've got to say it really, really strongly, or it's not going to get noticed. And so that I think accounts for a lot of it. I think that's fair enough. That's my way of maintaining some kind of faith in humanity, being online. It's like, come on, people can't be this fucking harsh. But I've gotten all the comments. Fuck off with the comic shit, noir bars where it's at. This is what you should be doing.
Fuck off with the noir bar shit.
It's like, what are these irregular noir bars? Pick a time, moron. And it's like, but it's supposed to be a one-off. The whole thing was designed from day one to be, or thought up to be, a chill stream. It's just late night. There's some kind of soft jazz playing. It's a chill saloon thing. I really dig the 1940s noir era.
Absolutely.
So it's, you know what I mean? So it's set up so it was just like a genre shtick look that I liked when I was trying to come up with a chill stream concept. That was it. It was nothing more than that. It's now gets more views than comic book curation does. But
does it really?
Yeah. But comic book curation is, that's where my heart's at. And the whole point of it originally was Inquisitor and I talking about comics constantly offline. And then we found out Jack was a big comic book nerd. And so we were all talking offline. We said, oh, fuck it, let's take this live. And we have so much fun doing it that, oh, come on, man. I'm not going to not do it. My suggestion is, why is it got to be all as harsh as, if you don't like it, fuck off? It's just, there's lots of channels that have a multitude of different contents. Just watch the ones you want. I subscribe to all kinds of channels where they do some things I like and some things I don't, and I watch the stuff I like. That's cool. Do that.
I get that 100%, and that's why I have a whole bunch of playlists on the channel. I have the biggest of bigots playlist, which is less popular than the hashtag everything is sexist playlist, which gets a lot more views than say maybe the feminist oriented content, or fucking no, anything that has to do with the Week Was Kang series, even just what's the word I'm looking for? A little bit, maybe, I don't know. Series things that relate to other things on your channel, and having a clear designation of what is what in terms of, like, not just titles, not just hashtags, but also in terms of thumbnails, helps to differentiate amongst the viewers what they like versus what they don't like. And I get it. Not everyone's going to like the streams that I put out. Totally fine. I don't worry about that. I make other content too. You can watch that. You don't have to worry about joining this. But I don't get why people feel the need to, in addition to, watch the regular weekly content that I've been putting out for the last 4 years, complain about the bonus material that I've been putting out for the last however many months it's been,
Right.
Right.
I get the idea of separate. People say separate channels, which is not, it's not a bad suggestion in terms of where it's coming from, but it's like, I'm like, Sinatra can get away with doing, because he's got a real big main channel and then a bigger live streams channel he's set up because of the demonetization of his first one. And he's really into creepypasta, right? Yeah. And so he's like, I'm going to do this separate channel, and is well known enough that people are going to find their way over to that. What's he at? 160,000 subs, something ridiculous, right?
How did that even happen? Is it just the constant uploading? Or is it?
It's the constant uploading, and it's like, nobody tell him I said this, but Sinatra's a really entertaining guy. He's great on the mic. He's got this chill.
I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got this chill approach where there's all this, because there'll be all this anger going on around him. Like there'll be 1488ers and there'll be people like, oh, fuck that. And then there'll be people just purely cracking spicy jokes and stuff. And he's like the calm center in the middle of it all, laughing at it. He's a good mic controller, that guy. He really runs a stream really well. It baffles me how some people can get away doing some of the things they do on stream and it doesn't cause them problems. Number one, like no one's cussing at them. And number two, they don't feel that it's odd. Sinatra and Young Ripper 5'9" are the only guys I know, I'm sure there's others, but they're the only ones I know that can do the shit on stream that they get away with. Young Ripper 5'9" will start reading a fucking comic on one of his live streams.
Really?
Yeah, like he'll just go like, this is a great comic. Like he'll be talking about like he's really taken with the new Black Widow series, right? He's like, he goes, don't underrate this. This is actually really well written. And you'll open it up and they just sort of get taken with it. And for the next 2 minutes, you'll just see him flipping pages. He's fucking reading a comic live. It doesn't cause him any problem. Sinatra will clip sounds live during his stream. Oh, that's got to be a sound clip, guys. Don't you think? Yeah, shit, here. And then you'll hear him doing it for the next 2 minutes, organizing this sound clip. And everyone's behind him doing it, going, yes, on with it. It's just some people have a charisma and a style where it's kind of about watching them do their thing. And that's the thing. It's interesting.
Yeah, see, I don't get a lot of people decrying me for doing my thing. It's mostly just the guests that I have on sometimes that they have a problem with. And that's the issue. And I get it. Not everyone wants to see a Polydub on my channel, which is fine. You don't have to watch. That's why I designate these as specifically cocktail hours with a fancy thumbnail and the cocktail hour and the big bold letters in the title. But also, like, I don't know. I got the same kind of reactions. And actually, I get it less with you, Polly, than I did with SDA when I used to do stuff with her for the professionals.
Right. I remember the professional stream and the iteration before that. Yeah.
The 2 rows, 1 stream. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Some people really had a big issue with her hair, and I don't get it.
Her hair?
Her hair, because it's red.
Oh.
And red is...
Streamlabs, sorry to know. Now, of all potato, thank you for the donation. Don't worry, I come here for you. I might be a bully to you, but it's still for you. Yeah, man. Well, I mean, I'm a fan of ball busting, and if you ever heard me talk to people, I mean, if you've tuned into comic book curation, it's basically 2 hours of Jack Quiz and I busting each other's balls. That's the fun. And I mean, we're here and Weebs and I are busting each other's balls. I don't take any of it. I haven't taken any of it seriously up until the DMs that I got in response to, Weebs, the MCU top 10 hottest ladies of the MCU stream that we did.
Wait, you got DMs about that?
I got some weird DMs about
that. Oh girl. Spill.
I like harsh shit. Okay. And I'll just say it the way that, and that's when I close my DMs, because I'm like, there's some fucking weirdos out there that, what the hell? I picked hottest girl in the MCU by my taste was Laura Harrier, because I'm crushing on her. And that was just my taste at the time that was the call I made. Right. And it's like, how the hell are you going to go ahead and put a newer as number 1?
Because it's your opinion.
Well, but that was one, and then from somebody else, I got nice virtue signal. It doesn't mean you're a great person just because you put a girl as number 1. Like they thought it was like a diversity thing that I was doing that for, and I'm like,
okay.
I like,
obviously,
wow, man.
You're not a Polydub fan. They're just a passing through type, you know? Just like
and it's like, who the hell wrote that? Is that one of the? I'm like, I don't recognize this, and it's like their name with a whole series of numbers following their name, having 2 followers and following 3 people. It's like, this is a sock account you wrote this with, you coward. You didn't even have the balls to write this with your primary account. It's like, so I'm not going to take that very seriously. But
so that's why you closed your DMs.
That and women as well got a little weird. I got a couple of tits pictures, and I got titty shots and requests for my phone number so we could SMS back and forth and stuff. Yeah.
Poor Polly's been creeped on by the internet.
Yeah, there were some ladies doing.
Would you
some
like to join
things.
our support group?
Well, see, I never got like the. I never got what you got, but and I remember asking you and was it
Hashtag
SDA?
I think it was
Hashtag Polly too. No, it wasn't so much creeping on because all of it seemed like girls crushing, and that's fine, but you never know when that's going to turn really weird. If you know what I mean, like really quick, really weird. Like here's a lock of my pubic hair in my PO box. Like, you know,
I still get weirdness to this day.
But I have no doubt of that, and that's what it was with you and SDA that I was talking about. Like, it's got to be extra weird being a girl online, like in a way that a man will never kind of quite deal with it. You know, at least most men wouldn't ever quite deal with it.
I've had my fair share of weirdos harass me on the internet. First one I ever had, his name was like Loredditor or something. He was on Minds. And this was before I locked down all of my other accounts. This was before I got big. This was just me having a go back and forth. I was like at 300 subs strong. This guy tracked me down, found out my boyfriend's name, found out where I lived. He was just... What? I have the DMs, or not the DMs. I have the screenshots of everything that happened. Luckily, he was like he lost interest after a few months, but it took months for him to lose interest. That's the problem, and it was a big issue. And then a few years later, I had this kerfuffle with the Heart Progress people. You're familiar with them?
Heart Progress? No, I don't think so.
They are
Are these the map people?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. The minor attracted people, the pedophiles.
Yeah. And let's just call them what they are, the pedophiles.
Mm-hmm. I got one that used my boyfriend's dad's picture as his profile picture, and then my boyfriend's last name as his Twitter handle, messaging me on Twitter. And he's like, so I have all your personal information. I hear you've been giving Heart Progress a difficult time. Wonder what would happen if your dad and your brother found out about this. Nah. And then they listed my brother's name, my dad's name, my name. It was just, oh, God, nuts. Insane stuff. And I don't even know how they knew any of this, but they told me that they had been hired by Heart Progress on the dark web to intimidate me into giving up my crusade, I guess, against Heart Progress. And then the guy tried to essentially extort me into doing a nude photo shoot in the middle of like a hotel somewhere. It was nuts, for money.
Sure.
And I'm just like, listen here, son. You are a bold man to intimidate someone with connections to the FBI, documented on the internet, like, honestly. And then I had him groveling at my feet right in front of me, like, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know that Heart Progress was a pedophile. Like, anyway, discontinued the account. Nothing came of it. Nothing, absolutely nothing. Never heard back from them. But it was just like the strangest thing. It scared the fuck out of me, I'm not gonna lie. I was terrified. But nothing came of it, right?
Right.
And then obviously a few years later we have the creepy weird guy who thinks that prude culture is a thing, who wants every single female political commentator to show their nudes onto the internet for all to see, because he thinks that they're being culturally peer pressured into being prudes or whatever. His name is YouTube Renegade or whatever. On and off. He's been following me for like the last year and a half or whatever. You've probably seen what
I've heard the things.
You've heard the things. You've seen the stuff.
I have.
There is an we have the petty shit channel specifically for this reason. It's just to kind of mock this kind of nonsense. And then of course we also have my personal internet stalker, who used to be a co-host of mine actually, who just absolutely loathes me too. He's the only person to date that I actually have ever blocked, because his threats were actually like a borderline intentional, intimidating, and
concerning, creepy.
Concerning. Not just creepy, because creepy doesn't really get me anymore, which is really sad to say. But it got to the point where I'm just like, I don't give a frick anymore. I'm just gonna block it and let it go.
I just pulled back up chat here. I was trying to organize something. The Harry Channel says it's because of people like this that we can't have nice things.
It is. This is why my DMs are so closed down, locked down tight. This is why you have to contact me on Discord. If you want to have a conversation through the public channels, like there are reasons for why I'm a little bit more private than I used to be when I started on this site, or when I started to be a political social commentator or whatever. And it's because I've been burned before, ladies and gentlemen.
Like there's certain
but you learn.
I reopened my DMs after that because like number one nowhere says that's the problem they had with that list. Yeah, well, I mean, there's people that disagree like with the numbers, and that's what I was kind of looking for. Is people say no, I would re-rank order this, and I can't believe, because remember we did it in 2 parts. Here's the women that didn't make the list for one reason or another, and then here's the actual top 10, right? Which was actually a top 12, and then I re-edited it in post to be top 10. I'm proud of myself. I was able to pull that off. I had to keep removing references when I said 12. In any case, I remember Weeb's talking about, and Irate Alex, Irate Bear, was busting my balls. He was like, there certainly are a lot of English ladies on the list, Polly. Are you an Anglophile? That's what Weebs was making fun of before.
He is, isn't he?
And I'm like, I don't know. So if it makes you feel any better, there's a whole bunch of Anglo girls on the list. So, get over it. But I reopened my DMs after that because I keep thinking I want another, like, there's lots of creators out there that I'd love to work with that I might have been on a stream with them for 5 seconds, or I really dig their stuff, and I'd love to do some kind of not like a classic corny collab from like 2016, but like something that's actually relevant that we both do. I'd love to do something with a Megon because he's just the coolest.
And that voice.
Yeah. Oh, best male voice on YouTube, man. You can prescribe that guy's voice as a sedative.
I don't know. Undoomed is online too.
Undoomed has a great stentorian voice. So I mean, and it's all subjective, but when it comes to like best voice overall, yeah, it's Mike calls him Megon in terms of guys. Yeah.
The Harry Channel said in chat, by the way, it's because of your Streamlabs is kind of locked down that I send you super chats instead. I hate giving YouTube part of your money. I assume that something had happened. Wait, hang on. How is my how is my Streamlabs locked down? Am confused. Please clarify, please.
Actually,
you can donate through PayPal, so that shouldn't be a big issue.
That's something I'm not clear on. Can people only use my Streamlabs donate to my Streamlabs if they have a PayPal themselves? They can't use a credit card? I'm a noob to the fucking Streamlabs.
They ask for extra authentication.
Okay. I mean, I can do that. Is that the limitation?
No, I think that's the limitation.
Okay.
Oh, is it because I don't have credit cards connected? Is that it? Because I don't have credit cards connected. The PayPal thing is kind of the way that I like to go about. What does that mean? Polly, how is yours different? Now
I don't know. See, Harry Channel said like Polly's is open, like my Twitter DMs. Yeah, they are. I reopened them after the whole, because I'm like, all right, the people that have some kind of racial problem with Laura Harrier for some fucking, she's half white, if that makes you feel any better.
I'll have to look at that. I don't know why that's the case.
Yeah, when you find out, let me know what I mean, I could look into it, I guess, on my own. But if you find out what's going on with credit cards, because if that's what's limiting people,
then maybe I should open it up.
It bugs me on a matter of principle, the 30% super chats. I get the ease that people love of just being able to hit the $ and donate like that, and it shows up in chat.
30%.
But 30%, and that's why I was such a stickler for, I have got to come up with cool pop-ups that come up on screen through OBS, and that's why I didn't want to use StreamYards. I wanted to use OBS to have it's more complicated to use OBS than StreamYards absolutely is, but I want the pop-up so people will have that thing, because I can understand why when they're donating they want to see the text pop up. Yeah, of course. Yeah. I get that.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So Streamlabs pop-ups, cool. And I'll put cool little graphics, and I have sexy ass Jessica Alba rolling around and stripping and stuff, and it's all noir-esque and themed and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All my
Thank
noir
you to
bar
Golden
pop-ups
Age.
are themed, you know.
Oh, sorry. Thank you to Golden Age Radio for the $1 slaps for the Streamlabs. Yeah, I'll figure out what's wrong with that and see if I can get it to behave, because apparently it's not. I didn't know that. Thank you for letting me know that. I've never actually gone into and locked down the Streamlabs itself because it's connected through my business PayPal account, which isn't connected to my address, which means that I'm fine. It's not a big deal. It's connected to my business account, so it's all good. But the Streamlabs should be fine because it's all routed through PayPal, which is third party anyway, so it's not a super big deal. Yeah, no, I went through a whole bunch of loops to figure out how to do this nonsense without having it be nonsense, you know?
Yeah. And okay, Irie Prostate makes a good point. He says credit cards show more info than just names. You know what? I hear you. And that's a concern that a lot of people have, and I get it. When I go over to PayPal, because I fucked up when I first got my Streamlabs, and a bunch of people donated, and after 30 days it was returned to them because for one reason or another you have to authorize some people's donations.
You have to go and you have to authorize it, especially if it's from
a lot of them
country.
And people from the UK and from Australia, I lost, I don't know, $350 in donations. It was right around my birthday that a lot of people were donating, and that was my ball drop. That really fucking sucks. But
it'd be like that. Although, hang on, let me see if this works. I'm about to donate myself $1 on PayPal. No, you have to actually have a PayPal in order to do that. Never mind then.
But even on PayPal, you get people's real names. And it's because of my feelings on doxing and how important online anonymity is. I'm the last fucking person that's ever going to share names or whatever. And I've had conversations with Jack Cochran, and it's like, we both kind of have the same opinion on that. It's like names came up, and then who was it we were talking to? I forget. We were in a Google Hangout, and they said, like who? And I was like, I'm not saying. We're both of us said, because it's like your information, like you were donating. The last thing you're going to do is share your fucking information. I'm not even going to look at it that long.
Oh God, no! You do not look at Discord, a gift horse in the mouth.
Well, hell yeah. And it's like, even if I was angry at the person, it's just not worth it. It's internet stuff. But I get what the point Irate Prostate is making. Giving out your credit card, it's got your actual name on it. There's a concern there. Yeah, I hear that.
It'd be like that. Yeah. So that's why I keep the super chats open, because I do know that people have that concern. And so I will give that avenue.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's the case. There isn't a better alternative. Maybe someday your girl Weebo will come up with a better alternative, but today is not that day.
It's just
it's not that day.
One of the things, because I'm pretty black pill when it comes to the direction YouTube is going and the internet in general, but StreamYard and Streamlabs gives me a lot of hope. Really does. Because it's like, fuck you, YouTube. Streamlabs came up with a better option than your bullshit, and they managed to do it at a cheaper rate. That fucking rocks. And then StreamYard, the right software at the right time, right when YouTube removed something that everybody liked.
Oh yeah.
The instant ability to send people links that are just through browser based. Here's the URL, join the stream. I mean, now it's going to pay, but even as a paid option, it's still better than Hangouts on Air, but functions like Hangouts on Air. Good. You want to remove that option? Entrepreneurship will take over. Another option will come in. Look how widespread StreamYards is this fast. See, goes to show you, Google and YouTube are not the monolith that they pretend to be, that some people think they are. They can be replaced.
They can be. It's a little bit difficult to integrate it with the system and what have you. StreamYards is really nice. I like the way that they do stuff. Streamlabs is also very nice. I like the way that they do stuff. If I could give one piece of advice to everybody, is that if you do have a PayPal and you do want to retain some sort of anonymity, make sure that you sign on to PayPal with an alternate email address, an alternate name, and make it a business account. because business accounts have a little bit, they revel in a little bit more anonymity than just the normal personal individual accounts. And that's the only way that I actually function with the PayPal account. And the reason is because of that anonymity that I get. Thank you to Ryan Kinnell, RK Outpost for the $10. Weebo, I've been watching your channel for a long time, but I never got never get to catch you live. Thanks for all the great content. And I thank you for thanking me for all of my great content. It takes an arm and a leg and a boatload of time. And I do appreciate that people appreciate that I put out the content that I do, because I don't know, it just feels nice to be appreciated for something that you do, that you put your heart and your soul into, you know, Polly?
Yeah, I know. I hear you. When I read that, that's really great to hear from someone that has never been able to say it live, but it's like, oh shit, this person I've been watching for so long is live. You're awesome. That's a fucking great super chat.
It warms my heart. It warms my cold, dead, decrepit heart.
Over on the Streamlabs, next 6 minutes says, here's a couple of bucks for a coffee or to put towards your new potato. It'll probably go towards the potato. Ever considering doing voice work with Undoomed, Irate Alex, Omegon, and Ranting Monkey? Bro, you have a great voice, legit. Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Jordan says, I appreciate you appreciating us, appreciating you, Weebo Jones. Well, I appreciate you appreciating me, appreciating you appreciating me, appreciating you appreciating me? Question mark?
Considering how appreciative I am of your meme work, Jordan. I
am appreciative of that meme work, though. Twitter is where it's at. Also, thank you to Irate Prostate for the donation on the Streamlabs. Merry Christmas, Weebo and Polly, and I thank you so much very kindly for that. I appreciate that, especially since I took the time to go and grab my Christmas hat. I will be wearing this for all episodes of Weebo Jones and Company and anything that I do on the internet for the next 3 weeks or so, until at least Christmas.
And one thing I'd like to get on is more UK-ites. I get like all these great Aussies show up because it's like when I'm streaming and they're just an awesome bunch of people.
Of course.
So many of the donations I get are a $. Like it's I love it. But more UK people too, just because of the difference in time. There should be more linkage there, considering I'm a night owl and stuff. The Opinionated Scotsman shows up, and that's cool. Tailed Feature, I'd love to do something with him. He's hilarious. He's got this real based, I don't give a fuck, I'm not really sure. I don't really know, man. I don't know. Kind of attitude.
Says he is an Anglophile, and you know what? I'm inclined to agree based off of my own personal knowledge of Polly. He is an Anglophile. He really wants that UK viewership, don't you, Polly?
I'm okay with UK viewership. They're a great, but you weren't enthused to see the latest UK election? I was.
I didn't have enough time to actually pay attention.
Oh man, Labour got shellacked. It was fucking awesome. Goddamn commies over there. We should be embarrassed to be English. If you want a sovereign nation, it means you hate everyone that isn't already a citizen of the UK. And it's like, fuck off. That shit got thoroughly repudiated. It was awesome.
Okay.
Oh, and Dankula? Yeah, no shit, Dankula. I mean, how funny is he? Fuck. And then, of course, Sargon. That would be like, whoo, to be combat Sargon on some of his political science thoughts and stuff like that. I'd love to fucking go to verbal war with him. Not that I disagree, but we could have a full-throated fucking political debate. It'd be great.
You know, you might actually get a chance to if you joined his Discord.
Yeah, that's true.
You might want to think about that.
Hey, Scribe here. How's it going?
Hi, Scribbles. Thank you, Harry. I did check my Twitter, and I do see it. And I will look into the Streamlabs nonsense, because that is disconcerting. I'm not going to lie.
You know, Devolved Potato makes a good point. When you stream here, it's night here, but in the middle of the day in the UK, so people are working. You know what? I still have yet to get that fucking widget app that I want. I'm going to have to just fucking design the thing myself. In spy movies and military movies where they'll go into like the war room or command headquarters and they'll have like 5 clocks up on the wall that show the different times and different critical places around the globe. That's what I want. And yes, you can click down on your clock in Windows 10 and set a bunch of different time zones. You can do it on your phone as well. I want it as a top small icon widget in the top left-hand corner, whatever. You can move it around and it'll show all the clocks at all the time. So I'll be like, oh, I'm streaming right now. It's, such and such a time in the UK or such and such a time in Australia. Those would be the 2 most critical time. Well, it'd be West Coast, my time, which is East Coast, and then UK and Australia.
I have 2 different times set to display on my phone because I'm constantly switching back and forth between Central and Eastern. And so, it's beneficial to have that. But I don't know if anyone else has had this problem. My Fitbit has not been setting itself back to Central Time whenever I go back home. It only sets itself to Eastern Time. It's stayed that way perpetually for whatever reason, ever since I upgraded to Android. And I cannot for the life of me figure out why that's the case. So if anyone has an idea as to why that is the case, I would be all ears.
Do you mean when you leave your time zone, it automatically changes, but doesn't change back when you go back?
So, you live in Indiana, which is Eastern Standard Time. Then you go back to Illinois, which is Central Standard Time. And my phone reverts back, but my watch does not. And so I'm constantly an hour ahead of the time on my watch, but my phone is constant, although it does have the dual time display, so I can see both. But it does switch back for the main time that it displays in like just the notification section. But for whatever reason, the Fitbit does not switch back, even when you sync it, even when you let it die and reset itself, doesn't sync back. And I can't for the life of me figure out why that's the case. So I'm thinking I might have to upgrade watches. It's been several years and apparently it's dead. So right now it says that it's 10:06 instead of 9:06.
But at least you can tell how many steps you took today.
Yes, actually, that's the only reason why I actually keep it on, because I could just use my phone as easily for a clock as anything else. But I like having the ability to monitor how many steps I take in a day because I like metrics. And it also tracks my sleeping. So it tells me how well I slept. It tracks my heart rate, so it tracks if I've exercised that day or if I've burnt enough calories or whatever. And so that helps with the if like I wanted to lose weight or something, or if I wanted to see my bodily metrics, because I'm all about metrics, analyzing data is kind of my thing.
Yeah.
Polly, I'm almost done with my alcohol. Sad face.
What?
Do you see that? That's all I have left.
Oh, that's it? No more in the bottle, you mean?
No. Maybe. That's about it. Oh, it fell out of the bottle. Oh, no! I dropped it on myself. It's not been my evening, has it? As you can tell, I'm a little bit intoxicated. Not a big fan of the red. Not gonna lie.
What kind is it? Generalized red or what?
Simon Creek Vineyards Untouchable Red Ruby Cabernet.
Ruby Cabernet.
Yep. 750 milliliters alcohol, 12.7% alcohol content.
So are you into white wines or just not that red wine?
Not this red wine. I like other red wines. Although this isn't the worst red wine that I've had. I just grabbed whatever was in the fridge that hadn't been drank in a while. There's also a Moscato in there that's been there for several months. Does wine go bad in the fridge?
Red will go bad a lot faster than white will, but white will last for, if you're stretching it, up to a week in the fridge. The higher acidity it is, the better off it will last.
Most of the wine actually landed on my hair, so I do not have wine crotch. Ha!
In a wine crotch.
It's okay. I smell like I belong in a vineyard, which I'm okay with. Have you ever been to a vineyard? It's a great place.
Yes, I have.
Oh, I actually have a fun story about that. Polly, do you remember that I went to Greece?
I do.
For like 2 weeks or whatever in the summer one time.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, okay. I went to Greece, and the professor that was leading that trip told us explicitly, he said, okay, kids, the
Later,
school...
I already stopped. Have a good night. I already prostate.
Oh, bye-bye. The school is not going to pay for any alcohol. He said this multiple times before in the meetings leading up to when it was that we were leaving for the trip. He said that explicitly. I recall this very clearly in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get to Greece, and it's like every single dinner that we have comes with complimentary wine, red and white, so you have a choice of either. And it's just a giant pitcher that everyone shares, and it's a pitcher per 4 people, so you get at least 1 glass, if not 2, depending on how many people actually want to indulge.
Mm-hmm.
But not only that, before we actually go on the cruise part of the ship, which I'll get to, we actually go and we visit a vineyard explicitly. We just go there, and they give us a free wine tasting, and we enjoy it. It's a great time.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. And then after that, right, because it was 1 week on dry land, and then 1 week we were gallivanting through the Aegean on a cruise ship, which, you know, you don't usually get on a school trip, but it was a really nice school trip. This is exactly why I signed up for it. Not just because of the drunken karaoke, but again, it's part of the whole package. When we go on the cruise ship, he tells us, okay, so we purchased the silver drink package, which only allows you these specific drinks, which means that you do get alcohol, but only specific alcohol, and you still get an unlimited amount of that alcohol. And so the school is not paying for alcohol on this trip, but we were pretty well wasted most of the trip, every meal at least. It was really nice. And that was how I figured out that I loved drunken karaoke as much as I did. And we need more of it in our day-to-day lives. This is how I will solve the world peace issue. Weebo 2036.
That's hilarious.
It really is. It was probably one of the best trips that I've ever been on. And I am counting my trip to Yellowstone, my trip to Utah for skiing and snowboarding, my trip to Vancouver, my trip to Alaska, and my trip to Panama. I've been places, Polly. I've never been actually across the pond except for when I went to Greece, but I've been everywhere else in America land, pretty much. It's really nice. I totally recommend it. You ever been on a train trip?
Yeah, I actually have.
Like across the country with the sleeper car and the dining car and the observation car and all of the bells and whistles and the crashing into a bulldozer in the middle of nowhere in North Dakota and having to stop for a few days. Wait, no, that's very specific.
No, but it had a lounge.
That's fair. But yeah, train trips, if I could endorse any mode of travel in my entire life, it would be train travel, because it's great. Even though there's no Wi-Fi, it's great. 100%. Are you sure you like drunken karaoke, or you just like being drunk? I like both. I like drunken karaoke and just being drunk. But drunken karaoke has the advantage of me getting to annoy people with my voice. So, I mean, this does too, but I actually get to sing like Shakira with drunken karaoke. You can't do that here. You get copy struck. Wait, the new trains have Wi-Fi? Get rid of it. You don't need Wi-Fi on a train.
I've done karaoke once, drunken karaoke once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you sing?
Diamonds Are Forever.
Polly, we need to get you drunk and karaokeing again.
The James Bond theme song. It was,
Yep.
And I went. It's not a song that's meant to be sung in baritone key, but I went there anyway.
You gotta transpose however you transpose, son. If you
Diamonds are forever. And considering it, I had fun with it because the whole point of that song is it's a woman singing. That they are all I need to please me.
Oh God, what I wouldn't give to watch Polly drunken karaoke his way through all of the James Bond movies. Oh God, that would be great.
Do you know the Bond movies generally well at all?
So I'm familiar. I've not seen every single one of them.
Okay.
It sounds bad, but my favorite James Bond movie is Die Another Day, and I know that's not a good answer, but I just like it so much. I don't know why. I just do. But my dad has all of the James Bond movies.
Okay.
He's a big fan.
My favorite, like in terms of the theme songs, right? I would have to, let's see. It's easy to name the best ones. To me, it's the ones that are like absolute stinkers. Like, my God, this song sucks. And then there's the ones that they're bad songs, but for some reason they work for the film. Like Thunderball by Tom Jones is fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
I find it impossible to sing along with it because Tom Jones has this like kind of voice where he can just be so large with it.
Ooh, we're supposed to check our Streamlabs. Thank you to Golden Age Radio for the donation. Gin isn't really a drink. It's more of a mascara thinner. Nobody likes my shoes. Is that a reference? I feel like that's a reference. I'm too drunk to tell. I finished my wine. Polly, help.
Oh, I know. You know what's a terrible song but still works is View to a Kill by Duran Duran.
How does it go? Sing it for me.
Dance into the fire. A fatal kiss is all it needs. Just dance into the fire. It's so bad, but it works.
Okay.
I don't know how or why.
Holly, I need to admit something to you. In my current state of mind, every single James Bond title is currently running through my head in terms of song to the tune of Skyfall. All right? So I just thought, how did Goldfinger's intro go? Oh, Goldfinger.
Yeah, well, it goes lower. It's Goldfinger.
No, but it just went the way of Skyfall, to the tune of Skyfall. Die Another Day goes to the tune of Skyfall. Dr. No, to the tune of Skyfall. It just happens for whatever reason, and I don't know if it's because it's the most recent one that I can think of, or it's just because it's the most known that I know.
Right.
But yeah, I can't for the life of me remember any other song except for Let the Sky Fall.
Yeah. Yeah, that works because it's so huge and operatic.
Oh yeah. Adele was the best decision to get for that.
Oh fuck yeah. And I cannot remember the title of it. It's the song for Quantum of Solace.
You're asking the wrong person. It's been a while. I actually don't remember liking that movie.
It's Jack White who wrote it and composed it, and then Alicia Keys came along in the end to wail over the chorus. Now I love Alicia Keys, but
wail over the chorus.
It's like sweetie, you didn't need to be there. They just they just wanted to combine two large popular artists at the time. And
like that.
You know, Madonna did one. I don't even fucking remember it. It was for one of the Pierce Brosnan films, and I don't even recall it at all. It's that unmemorable.
Oh, hey guys, everyone. Update from Balik in the Discord. He says, if there's a game night tonight, is there a game tonight? If not, I'll host if there is enough demand at 2200 hours Eastern Standard Time. So I think he means Not right now, right? Because it's 10:18. So an hour from. I'm too drunk for this math. I can't do time math. Polly, do it for me. If it's an hour from now, Eastern Standard Time, 2,200 hours, that's 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. That means that he would have posted it at 10, which means that it's happening now. Right?
All right. Yeah, I'll go with that. I mean, you lost me with them numbers, so.
Oh, I'm going to fall.
Jesus, Weebs.
I'm having a great time. What are you talking about?
Yeah, the last time a girl said that, I ended up holding her hair back while she was vomiting.
Fun fact, I've never actually passed out, vomited, and or had a bad hangover after getting drunk. So, and I'm not about to start now.
Well, that's a good streak to be on.
Mm-hmm. That is something to brag about. Yeet. My entertainment, Polly.
If you want to close her down now so you can go off to the game stream, by all means. I mean, we're at
oh no,
2 hours and 20 minutes.
We can go for another 10 minutes at least. Round it out to a nice 30.
This is usually the time that I ask that anybody can ask questions if they want, and then nobody ever asks me questions. I don't know. That's just not a popular thing on streams I do. It's weird.
What? No? You don't want to ask us questions? You don't have burning questions to ask your lovely co-hosts?
Oh, I have no doubt that it might work here, but I'm just saying, like on Comic Book Curation and Noir Bar, I've done that and then ended up just like, all right, let's not do that again because nobody has any questions.
That's fair. Just leave it open as an option. If we get any interesting questions, we'll answer it. I have a burning question for you, Polly.
A burning one?
Yes, a burning question that I've had since I let you read my thesis. How did you like it?
You thesified well.
I thesified well.
Did you go over it a few more times to in terms of edit to?
Yeah, I did go back over it before I turned it in. And then I turned it in for the last time. And I was only allowed to make APA corrections. Unfortunately, there were a few things that I would have totally have liked to edit that my professors had pointed out after they graded it, but they're like, no, don't do it.
APA?
Yeah, that was the style that I had to write it in.
Chicago.
No, I'm a psych major. You're supposed to write an APA.
Fuck inline citations, man.
I know, fuck them, but you know.
Chicago all the way.
You gotta do what you got. It was a requirement, all right.
I hear you.
Luckily for computer science, I don't actually have to make any specific citations in any specific format. I just have to be like, so I found this, and this is what it was that it was, and this is the link that I got it from, and so here it is.
Daniel Fullman asked, Polly, did you get the nutmeg box? I did not.
Nutmeg box.
Yeah, like a nutmeg is like it's an actual little nut that you grind.
Yeah, but someone sent you a nutmeg box?
No, I was talking about I was looking at them on Amazon. It's like I gotta get one of these things because they're best when they're a box that you slide open, kind of like a little matchbox, and it's got the grinder on top, so you keep your nut on the inside. And
yes, we have talked about this, I believe.
Yeah, and I wanted to get one of those, but I never got around to getting it because. Have you tried chicory in your coffee? I've tried it before, but I got to go down to some health food store and get my own chicory so I can come up with a poly blend.
Daniel Fullman asked me if I finished Bailiff's wine calendar. I did not, unfortunately. I can't just drink ahead of the actual date that it is. But I did get a chance to drink a nice rosé from Paris from it, and then the initial first day champagne that's supposed to celebrate it. Champagne was disgusting. The rosé I finished and got drunk off of on the very last day that it was that we were at the school.
Next 6 minutes pulls a really obvious cheat and asks, what would you like me to ask you, Polly? That's like the genie in the bottle. It's like, what are your 3 wishes? First wish is I want 100 wishes. That's cheating, man. You can't now.
That's fair. Golden Age Radio asks, I has a question. How much did you not read from my book? I haven't read any of it actually at this point. That's because I've been just swamped with schoolwork and finals and studying for 7 years in the span of 24 hours, which, by the way, you can do. It's just not healthy. I wouldn't recommend it. Polly, you know the feeling, right? Just
Yeah,
tell me to do.
I know.
But yeah, I should have a little bit more free time coming up, especially since I'll be on a flight from here to Paris for several hours. So why not?
Old Guy Gamer asks a couple questions. Polly, did you ever get a world time clock? No, I was just complaining about the app. I was looking at some of like the digital physical options that are like desktop sit-in models, but they're all pricey as fucking. I don't understand why somebody can't just have a simple fucking app. Come on, Microsoft Store, get
They
with it.
can't. It'd be like that.
Yeah, it seemed a do be like that. And Old Guy Gamer additionally asks, Polly, does Far have a Streamlabs? No, she does not, but she does have a wicked cool merch store that you should go check out. It's got stickers and t-shirts and hoodies and
do we have a link for that? Question mark.
Actually, I will go grab it now and then pull it up and throw it in chat.
Excellent. In the meantime, I will answer Evolved Potatoes question of why is otter meat so delicious and tasty? I would know, I haven't tried it, but you know what? I probably know a guy who can get me some delicious otter meat. Right, Polly?
Well, I think that was a sexual comment, and I don't know.
No, it was purely carnivore.
No, I think it was a sexual comment, and I don't know, but I'll get back to you. I will go ask certain ladies, and I'll let you know what they think.
Anyway, also, Lion Patriot asks, Weebo, how many boops have you given Daphne? No boops, only the snuggles and the pats. She hasn't wanted a boop, although she has been playing dead quite often, and by dead I mean she's just been lying there on her side, just kind of chilling, relaxing, like a villain. You know how it be.
Daniel Fullman asks, Polly, what is a research contract? You are hired to check facts on someone's paper? Question mark. What is a research contract? Generally, it's just kind of what you described. You're hired by someone to do research. It's like a TA ship, it's an RA ship, a research assistance ship. They can hire out individual grad students, usually doctoral students that are in a specific area. The one I was hired to do, the last two I was hired to do, it's rather unfortunate. I had to sign NDAs for both of them for no fucking reason, in my opinion, after finding out what they are. So I can't specifically talk about what they're about. But the reason why it's a problem is because you can't put it on your CV. Because what are you going to put? Did unspecified research?
So then why even bother reading it?
What do you mean?
Like, if you can't put it on your CV, why bother reading it? If it's a waste of your time.
Why bother doing the work?
Yeah.
Money.
Okay, that's fair. You make a valid point. I don't know why I disputed you.
Because I'm dying broke and food and shelter costs money. And so, yeah, that's why.
Standards, Polly.
Standards. The ones that I picked were a hell of a lot of work for what the contract offered to pay. But hey, you do what you got to do when you got to do it. You know what I mean? So I took them anyway, even though I would prefer to pick ones that are more interesting, have a bit of balance between pay and work and of assigned NDAs. I've leaved to generally describe them. It's like what you're doing isn't secret. I don't get it. Like one previously was that I done it was for a national security contractor, and so at least under that circumstance I get it. But the last one I did, like in a very vague general sense, it's you're taking research that has already been done and you're doing what they call meta-analysis. There's a bunch of literature out there, a bunch of research papers out there that are for policymakers, and they're written with a policy objective in mind. We want to persuade using the data that this is the case. But there's a whole wealth of other research papers that take the same data and argue precisely the opposite point. And so, what?
Apparently, you've been roboting.
I'm sorry. Am I still roboting?
A little bit. I'm surprised it actually happened now as opposed to earlier.
Oops.
It'd be like that.
Am I still roboting?
No, you seem fine now.
I'm analyzing two different sets of research that are arguing opposing viewpoints, and I'm having to crawl through all of their source data to find out where they biasedly interpreted the data in such a way as to be able to contort it to end up at the place they wanted to from the beginning.
Ooh, that sounds like something that I would have fun with. Although, I feel like you would have to have the ability to interpret that data in order to make a definitive yes, this is biased, or no, this isn't biased determination, right?
I can give you a hint. Most of it happens in footnote wars. That's what they call it.
Of course.
It's they don't want to come across as cold liars, right? So the first thing you do is read the entire paper from front to back, take your notes, then go down to the bottom and read through the footnotes very, very closely. And where your notes of concern are, odds are you're going to find a corresponding footnote where they excuse away what they did so they can't be called a biased researcher.
So what I'm hearing is if I ever wanted to hire Polly to determine if my channel was biased, all I have to do is pay him a substantial sum of bourbon.
Yeah, sure. Let's go with that. Is your channel biased? Yeah,
no, I don't think. Maybe
everything's biased, but it's not so much bias. It's just the executive summary will say that the case is X. Okay, how did you get there? And it's like by analyzing the information that's available. Did the information actually lead you there, or were you hired specifically to demonstrate that the case was X? I could hire 3 different researchers and tell them to come. Here's your data sets. Here's your information. Here's your interviews, and here's your archive information. Now you come up with there's no definitive answer. You come up with that the answer is X, and you come up with that it's Y. And they could all do it believably. And the answer will only be found in the footnotes and by crawling through the original information yourself to see how they managed it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. One more question, and then we're going to call it. The Memes of Destruction asks, do you think genetic modification would help replenish the buffalo population? If we could make their wings larger, they will be able to migrate more quickly. What say you? So for the serious answer, I'd say that genetic modification is amoral, and I don't think that it should be done on animals intentionally. Of course, selective breeding is a form of genetic modification, but I do regard it as different than actually mutating the genes intentionally, and with like whatever it is that you use to mutate genes in that sense. But for the joke answer of that, because there is a joke element to that, I say go for it. I want giant ass buffalo freaking wings because I'm a big fan of B-dubs as much as the next chick who's got a hankering for some beer and some dubs. What say you, Polly?
I'm completely against Weebo's opinions. Hashtag bioluminescent pets now.
I disagree. We are not God. We shouldn't play God.
No,
even though I don't quite 100% adhere to an almighty power figure, I do think that
I am okay with
that's arrogant.
Genetic manipulation for the sake of congenital disease control, as an example.
I say just let the people die. If it's their time, it's their time. If they're not going to survive, they're not going to survive.
Okay, well, that's not next door to eugenics. That's like surfing on the couch inside the house of eugenics.
No, not necessarily.
So, like a child that was born blind and through a minor alteration of a few SNPs, you would be able to have them
no.
blind.
I thought you meant like in utero genetically alter this thing to ensure that it is this thing that you want it to be.
Well, that would be cosmetic alteration. That's why I said congenital disorders, right? Like,
I'm drunk, so what does that mean? Explain.
Well, if there's a tendency towards hemophilia in a given family, there's a child because of the genetic predisposition towards inheriting a susceptibility to certain kinds of lymphoma, etc.
Okay, but does genetically modifying that specific child also, at the end of the day, genetically modify any offspring that they have?
That's an excellent question above my pay grade. I do not know.
That's my question.
We're just thinking like on basic ethics level, it's like unintended outcomes or the actual issue of genetic manipulation. Because I mean,
let genetics take its course, do what it will naturally. I mean, like, we've been doing that for forever. Who are we to believe that we can actually manipulate genes in such a way that it actually isn't going to have detrimental repercussions in the future? Like, honestly.
Well, because we genetically manipulate by accident things anyway. There are a lot more.
Well, for example, if genetically modifies things accidentally, whenever it is that you decide to reproduce with a woman, you're accidentally genetically modifying, right?
But I hear you, but that's what I'm saying is that if you have a society where we develop glasses and we're not in the wild anymore, we're in a human civilization. People that have poor eyesight would have been the tendency to have poor eyesight would have been lessened in the gene pool a long time ago because those people wouldn't have been able to replicate, reproduce rather. So we are genetically manipulating by virtue of the fact that we have a civilization, because we're able to make up for a lot of things so those people reproduce and reintroduce things into the gene pool that would have been eliminated from a wild animal gene pool. So, I mean, it's just that introducing the ethical quandary, there's a lot of them beyond somebody going in with microscopes and poking at things. The quandary is a lot more complex than just that. Is all I'm saying. So, like, if you want to make it complex, oh fuck, let's go to the end of the earth with it because it gets big fast.
We should have this discussion again, but when I'm more sober and we have more time, because this is actually very fascinating.
Two really quick things that somebody said. I know you said it was the last one, but well, Daniel Fullman said, Polly, you seem to cook a lot. Would you ever want to do a cooking channel? I'd want to do a cooking channel with someone. I don't know if I'd want to do my own because I don't know if I'd do enough. It'd be fun to do cooking with Satsu or something like that. That'd be hilarious. I'd love to do that. That'd be great.
You just be like, all right, Satsu, we're gonna watch you make this lasagna. Well, Satsu, why are you doing that? Didn't you wash your hands before? Oh my god, I just had a great idea for a video.
Unhygienic cooking?
No, reacting to Satsu cooking. I don't know. Because you know how hypercritical I can be, Polly.
That's what, you know what? We should do that. Do like a Mystery Science Theater style comedy overlay where
Can you believe this? He didn't even use the pastry cutter.
And we'll do it over something that nobody could possibly be critical of, like Satsu cooking.
All right. What do we title this exactly? What is the avenue we're going down? Criticizing
obviously uncriticizable things. And then Old Guy Gamer said something that confuses me but concerns me at the same time. Polly, I sent you a link for one a while back that was like 40 or so. For what? Like, I don't like a gift coupon for something, or I don't, but that concerns me because I don't know what you mean. So I'm thinking that I obliviously let something pass me by or something like that and it went to waste. So I don't know. Hit me up in DMs. I'm at Polly_dub. Hit me up and let me know how I fucked up.
All right, Polly, real quick, check your Streamlabs just to make sure that we didn't miss anything, because I'm gonna do the exact same thing. And
nope, I've got it on screen. I'm good to go.
All right, I'm all Gucci too. In that case, I have to pee. So we're gonna close out the show. I have to break the seal. That's how it be. You know, I'm a tiny woman, tiny bladder. It happens. Thank you to everyone who joined us this evening to watch the show, to like the show, to commentate on the show, to have opinions and such. We deeply appreciate it. We also appreciate those who donated as well to the show. Thank you to those who donated. And thank you to Polly for joining me on this lovely Sunday evening. He doesn't have to be here, although he did suggest it. This was his idea. But I do appreciate the fact that he showed up somewhat on time.
Pretty damn close.
Yes, I do enjoy our conversations, Polly, especially when we get progressively more drunk as the evening progresses.
Oh, really quick for the world clock, Old Guy. Yeah, that's the $40 thing. You're the $40 clock. Yeah, I did see it. I went and kind of like poked around and looked at them, but I'd really prefer it on screen. That's why I was looking for software options, but I appreciate it nonetheless.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, so thank you to everyone who joined us. We'll be back here. Question mark. I just gotta make sure that I'm not busy next Sunday. I don't think I'm busy. I hope I'm not busy. In that case. Oh, fuck.
Fack. The 22nd?
The 22nd is Nana Jones's birthday dinner. All right, Polly, what do you want to do?
We'll come up with an adjusted time and tweet out accordingly.
Okay. We will tweet out accordingly an adjusted date and time for the next show. But it will be within the next 7 days, question mark?
Yeah, absolutely will be. Yeah.
Excellent. All right. In that case, thank you everyone for joining us. Polly, thank you for being here. Thank you for those who donated and all that jazz. And I will see you when I see you next. Polly, you'll see them when you see them next. Unless it wait, oh, you have to shill.
Chill, god damn it. I gotta piss. Oh my god, you're killing me, Polly.
I do have to pee.
Actually, for those of you
Stop laughing. Chill.
So I'll speak slowly then. I would
carry
like to I would like to thank all of those who donated. It is generously appreciated.
Polly, I'm getting pee sweats. This is not acceptable.
Yeah, actually, I am. Daniel Fulman mentions the homework. I am going to watch that film, as well as Weebo and I are going to get together and do comedy subtitles for the Chewbacca roaring from the Baca family. There's a link to my channel where we do Noir Bar and everything else. And Weebs is going to be coming by for a pre-Christmas visit to our Noir Bar. I'm going to insist to make it happen. It's going to be awesome.
Harass me about it.
Yes, we will all be harassing her about it. It'll be hilarious. Okay, so there it is. There's my channel. Come by. Cool stuff there.
I banged my knee. I was doing the pee-pee dance so much, I banged my knee. Okay, bye, everybody.
Have a good night, everyone.
I'll have a video up on the channel at some point this week, I promise. Pinky swear. All right, bye.